Don't ever laugh as a hearse goes by, for you may be the next to die. They wrap you up in bloody sheets to drop you 6 feet underneath. They put
Tonight, on the Midnight Train podcast, we're taking the train back to the land of UFOs, aliens, and more as we investigate the Rendlesham Forest event, one of the most notable sightings ever. Also, we have a special guest. Today. Wait. Today. No, that's not it. Today. Whatever. Listener discretion is advised. So, don't bitch about it.
the worms play pinochle on your snout. They eat your eyes, they eat your nose as you begin to decompose. A slimy beetle with demon's eyes chews through your stomach and out your sides. Your stomach turns to rancid grease and pus pours out like melted cheese. You spread it on a slice of bread.
Hello, passengers, and welcome to the Midnight Train podcast, where we bring the dark to light.
We do.
What's that mean? Well, we make fun of a joke about creepy shit while bringing you as much information as possible on each freaking topic. Farting topic.
Yeah.
Fudging.
Be careful. Be careful.
I am your host, the conductor of the cryptic, Jonathan Sayer. Where's my applause, man? Come on.
I'm slacking today.
I want an applause. Thank you.
Hey,
I got one.
should we do live applause now? There it is.
Golf
It
clap,
sounds
golf
really
clap.
horrible.
Golf clap.
And with me are my co-hosts. It's Mr. Moody
Yay!
and Logan.
Hello.
And sitting across from me, a very special guest,
Wait a minute.
returning guest.
Wait a minute.
We need a kazoo, right?
Wait a minute.
Ready? It's Jeff Butchko.
Well, hi.
Shit, wrong one.
Oh, yeah. Feels good to be back. Jeez.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, buddy.
Well, you're just fucking up all over the place, aren't you?
He
Moody?
moved the buttons around, and sometimes I fuck up still.
They've been that way for 3 months.
I was going to say, how long have I been gone? He still hasn't got the buttons
It's
right?
No,
not
he
ever.
moved
No,
them.
no.
He moved the
Yeah.
buttons.
Excuses are like buttholes. Anyway, how are you, man?
Big and
Great.
stinky.
Good.
Doing well. You guys you got this going on now. Look at this.
Yeah.
Like a whole little scene here.
Yeah.
We're aspiring semi-professionals.
Well, now that we're not carrying your dead weight around,
See. It was all for the best.
That's right. Well, we do have an amazing story coming on here. And actually, it was kind of stemmed by Jeff talking about it and wanting to come in and do this. And the question is, I guess I forgot to ask, are we going to...
I was going to ask you about that.
I was hoping you guys were going to have something.
I just remember I could have brought some, but I totally forgot about it.
All right, we'll do it next time.
We can
then.
pretend, though. Wait, hold on.
Bro. Jeff, dude, so aliens, bro. What do you think, man?
I don't know, but that Goo Goo Dolls album was amazing.
So we were supposed to be smoking some weed before we started this one, but apparently that's not happening because everyone dropped the ball on
The
that.
devil's
so.
lettuce.
Yeah.
Gummies.
See, we all.
You have gummies?
Did you have gummies?
I do have
We
gummies.
all-
You have gummies.
We'd
we
have
all
to
get-
re-record later,
yeah.
What if we all did just a quarter of a gummy?
Yeah, but it would take it too long to kick in.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
It'd be
Yeah,
like the whole episode would be great, and then the last
Wait.
half hour would be like,
Text Alyssa.
oh, bro.
Oh,
what
yeah,
happened?"
she probably does.
Oh, she definitely does.
Yeah.
I think you're just calling people out on the. This person has some. This person has some.
Phone number 440.
Yes. Do you need the address as well, too?
All right, so we'll do it next time. Damn it.
We'll plan another one.
Yeah.
We'll do another one.
Yeah.
All right, so you beautiful bunch of dark passengers know that we are just a bunch of musicians and assholes that love history and cannot get enough of the mysterious. We want you all to know how much it means to us that you're listening right now. If you're new here, welcome.
Like Jeff.
Right.
Yeah.
Welcome, Jeff.
Hi.
If you're not, well, you know what you're in for, and we're glad you're here. Your reviews and support really do make all the hard work worthwhile. And saying that, please stop on over to Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening right
Some
now.
things don't change.
Nope.
See?
And give us a 5-star review. It does help, it gets us up the charts and whatnot. You can leave any review you'd like. You can also find us on Spotify and iHeartRadio by typing the Midnight Train podcast in their search bar and clicking the follow button. You'll then get each episode as they are released, and Patreon subscribers just received a bonus on Cotton Mather and the Goodwin Children, and they have a really cool one coming up on the
Devil's Bible.
The Devil's Bible.
Yeah. Stop. What did I tell you about that laugh?
I know.
The Devil's Lettuce?
Devil's
It's
Bible.
the Devil's The Devil's Lettuce.
Sounds like a great episode.
Nah, we'd forget it.
Right. So sign up over at patreon.com/the Midnight Train Podcast or head over to the midnighttrainpodcast.com, because if you are a Patreon subscriber, you're going to be getting way more than that. First of all, you got 30 plus bonus episodes.
Yeah, like 31.
That's plus you're going to be getting the haunted ghost hunting episode.
Yeah, buddy.
We can't.
I heard about that.
Did you hear? Oh, did you hear about this?
I was like, oh my God, they're actually
It's
going
gonna
to
be
do
sweet,
it.
dude.
Yeah,
Are you going to take diapers?
With me?
Yeah.
I know.
I'm the only one that's not a believer.
It depends.
That's why you're going to be this fucking
that's
scared
how it always
shitless.
happens. It's
Yeah.
every movie, the guy that's the non-believer. Yeah, let me go check it out. I'll go outside.
I ain't
all good.
afraid, bro.
I'll buy the Depends for him.
He's
Already-
got those.
already got him lined up.
First of all, you're acting like I don't have those.
Say he is old.
Yeah, exactly. And Moody has something for
Yeah.
Patreon coming up here soon too. And do you want?
I'm going to keep it a surprise.
Yeah,
you guys,
let's keep it a surprise.
You guys know
We
what it is.
It's
though.
really fucking cool. To
Do
be
you think
honest
it's going to be as cool as I think it's
with
going
you.
to be?
I think it's going to be.
Are you
something.
dropping your first rap single?
No.
No, it's R&B.
We want people to come back.
He's gonna be pissing on sheets.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
All right, so we'll discuss most of that or more of that later on.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
listen, again, we've decided that once we've hit 100 producers, that means people on Patreon supporting the show, we are going to start donating 10% to a specific charity that we will announce every month that is actually chosen by
What?
each one of you Patreon producers. So get on that, get bonuses and get
Jeff
to a
is going
good
to be our
cause.
first charity. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patreon, come on. Like, what the hell? I come up here to get high and they have no weed. Like, what's the
Because we don't have
deal?
any. We don't have any money.
Yeah, come on. Let's step up, Patreon.
We spent the last of our Patreon money on a 12 of High Life.
Money well spent.
Yeah,
It paid
obviously.
it paid for half of it.
Would you like a High Life?
In a minute, I got to drink my
okay.
Tetris.
Yeah, you're
Alright.
fucking weird
One
ass
piece?
shit.
Yeah.
Uno más, por favor.
So anyway, it does sound simple enough, and plus a lot of you know we have a lot of fun on our official Facebook group page, so sign up over there too, and do not forget about our drinking game every time we quote a movie, and it has to be, easily
flow.
in the flow. It can't
Yeah.
be forced in there. You got to take a drink. That's just
Yep.
how it goes.
Yeah.
You guys know how it goes. So,
Yep.
all right, let's turn down the lights, adjust our seats, grab a drink, and let's get spooky.
I don't have-
But
I
first,
got nothing.
here's a toast to all you beautiful.
Quit stalling,
I
dude.
can't find it.
What a buildup.
Here's a toast to
Better
all
be
you
fucking good.
bastards. We love you.
That sounds so cool.
Nice. I know this.
I hear the train coming around the
What is this shitty song?
and I ain't seen the sunshine.
This is Johnny Cash when he was young. That's when he first wrote it.
It's before he met the chick. This is when he was the man in just black shoes.
Yeah.
Now I figured with Jeff
He
coming
couldn't afford the rest.
right. With Jeff coming in, this is our old band, Blackout Superstar.
Nice.
And I actually had a fan of ours of the band reach out recently and ask about this song and if I could send it to him.
Wait a minute. You mean the fan of the band? Oh.
It wasn't Chainsaw, was it?
No, it wasn't Chainsaw. So anyway, he wanted it, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot all about this
Nice.
song.
Very
So I
cool.
decided to
Alright.
throw it up here. And
Nice.
yeah,
Well, thanks to that
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
Number one.
thanks, fan.
We do it for you, fan. All the
We do
work
it
and
just for you,
thought and everything.
guy.
For all of our fan across the world.
You mean the world to us, fan.
The same guy that listens to this podcast.
Right. So listen, tonight we're talking about something pretty damn cool.
Oh, you guys ready for this? And I got some info I brought this time. I know I
can't
wasn't
wait,
the
dude.
info guy before, but I got some stuff.
I'm wondering what you got that I don't have.
Not on this particular subject, but
Oh, okay.
related.
Okay.
Related.
All
All
right.
right.
All right.
Well,
Some
tonight
mind-blowing shit.
Ooh.
we're going to be talking about what is perhaps the most well-documented UFO sighting, and depending on who you talk to, one of the best examples that aliens have been to Earth. Hot damn!
Yeah.
Woo! Woo!
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I heard the last. I listen to every episode.
Yeah.
Are we not allowed to use swear words now?
Oh, no, we are. We got a complaint. We got 2 complaints in like a day.
Yeah, who was that, by the way?
Some dude.
Not to sidetrack, but
Who
Some
knows?
dudes.
Who knows?
Some randos.
some trolls.
There's
Do
a couple.
Fuck 'em.
Yeah, a couple.
you think it was the fan?
Fuck them.
The fan.
No, our
No, there was
fan
2
loves
separate
us.
ones. Those are not our. Those are not our fan. Our fan is still here.
Right. So not only is it a is the story of this well documented, the credibility of those involved, with a few exceptions, which we've actually weeded out, is pretty much as good as it gets. Right. So these are actual like
Show enough.
good people saying a word. Right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna throw this in here now. I told you I want to do a little disclaimer real quick.
Uh-oh.
So this what?
Nothing.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I'm just saying this. So this episode is there's a lot of ways we could have gone with this episode. We could have legitimately made this like a 3-parter.
Right.
We wanted to tell the story, from the perspective of the people that basically put the story out, like the men who like experienced it. There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of random stuff and other stuff out there as far as like trying to debunk it and calling people into question and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to get into that stuff a little bit. But if you're listening to this episode and you're hearing stuff and you're just like, well, that guy didn't fucking say that. It was proven. I don't give a shit. All right. We're doing this from their perspective and what we know. And there are some things at the end, like some caveats and whatever that.
Caviar? I like caviar.
Yes, exactly. There's snails.
yeah, it's
there
fancy.
are snails at the end of this episode.
Wait,
That's not caviar.
Wait, caviar's the eggs. Fuck.
That's the fish eggs. Yeah.
I'm thinking escargot.
Look at
Jesus
that
Christ.
escargot.
And I was a chef. Can you believe
I
that
know.
shit?
I know. It's kind of fucked
No,
up.
but
Anyway.
so
That's
I just wanted
scary.
to put that out there in case you started listening and you got to a point and you were like, this isn't right. They've said this since then, and that doesn't matter. That's not what we're doing.
So this is the viewpoint of the
we're
actual
telling the story
eyewitness, right?
of the eyewitnesses.
Yeah.
That's what we're telling. So
Right.
Buckle up.
Yeah.
Buckle
Yeah,
up.
it's gonna be
no,
fun.
it's good, man. It's good. It's crazy.
Not only that, but it wasn't just a couple of people that witnessed part of this event, okay?
No.
At least 80 people saw it firsthand.
This is what they're saying.
And that doesn't include people from the town and area surrounding where this incident actually took place.
Right.
We're, of course, talking about the one, the only, the Rendlesham Forest incident.
Boom.
There it is, buddy. Most of our story and info today comes from an amazing book we found called Encounter in Rendlesham Forest.
It's a fucking great book if you got a chance.
What's it about?
So good. It's about this guy,
He knows how to read?
and no, I actually listened to the audio
I was
book.
going to say. Like, there's no way he sat through a whole book.
I obviously can't type, so
Yeah.
no, it's good. It's a really good book. Really good book.
Awesome. Written by Nick Pope with assistance from 2 of the main players in the incident, John
Yep, yep.
Burroughs and Jim Penniston.
Penniston.
Both retired from the United States Air Force.
He's related to CC, by the way.
I was up, fucker! You got me.
I knew it.
I believe she's Penniston.
Well,
That's what he is.
Oh, that is Penniston. Yeah, maybe they are related. Yeah.
And I can't fucking read.
So Nick Pope actually worked for the British Ministry of Defense investigating UFOs, alien abductions, crop circles, and more. So basically, Moody's dream job.
He
right?
worked for them for like 3 or 4 years, I believe it was. And he did a lot of that shit. And he's written a lot of other books about like UFOs and stuff like that. So
Awesome.
if someone's into UFOs and they're listening to this, they know who Nick Pope is.
Okay. So the Rendlesham Forest incident was actually composed of 2 sightings in just a couple of days span. We'll discuss both incidents and then talk about theories and such and whatnot. And so let's get into
Theories
it here.
and such and whatnot.
And whatnot.
Did you add that? Because I didn't put the whatnot in there.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. The Rendlesham area was home to 2 military bases, Bentwater and Woodbridge. The 2 bases were separated by roughly 300 to 400 yards of forest.
Roughly.
You guessed it, Rendlesham Forest.
Yep.
The forest itself was pretty thick and dense. Both bases were run by the U.S. Both bases were speculated to house nuclear weapons.
Oh, boy.
At least one of them was. I don't know. I actually not sure if both of them were. I know at least one of them
So
was.
you're a liar.
I could be.
Okay. It was never confirmed or denied.
Nope.
Many people believe that the reason for this, that was the reason for the UFO visit.
Yeah, because if you're into your UFOs, which you're not,
I mean, I know about them. I know about the fiction of them.
that's one of the things that people often speculate is that they
Nuclear power-seeking aliens.
Yeah.
Woo!
Or it's
they like
from
our-
the future
they're
trying
looking
to...
at our weapons.
Hey,
and-
that was me. That was the one I
Hey,
came with.
just sit tight. We'll get into that later.
Oh,
boy.
I got some for you, too, later.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Also, it gives even more credibility.
Where's the Roadrunner?
We don't have the
we don't have the Roadrunner anymore.
Oh,
We don't have,
man.
all we have is this. We'll give them that.
You look so disappointed.
I am. I forgot what we used to have.
All we have is this.
Come back.
Yeah. So it gives even more credibility to those involved, being that they were in charge of a pile of nukes. Or were they? On the night of December 26, 1980, which is not that long ago, again, 1980.
That was I was roughly 11 months old then.
I was swimming in my dad's nutsack at that point because I was born in 81.
I was born in January of 1980, so it was almost a year. I was almost a year old, man.
Dude, we're almost the same age.
Yeah.
High fives.
I had a job. I don't give a shit. Like, whatever.
Yeah, you were already driving the car.
No, I'm kidding. I was 4. I was fucking 4.
You and Chainsaw running around
Yeah.
like,
Chainsaw was retired already.
who wants to go to Higbee's? They got a sale.
No, Chainsaw's who I worked for.
Yeah.
Bees.
So,
Shout out.
so on the night of December 26, 1980, John Burroughs, who was an airman first class, saw strange red and blue lights on Rendlesham Forest outside of the gates of the base.
Yeah.
While patrolling the east gate of the Woodbridge base. At first, Burroughs thought the lights may have been a civilian aircraft that had crashed.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Red and lights
Right.
and flashing. And
He began the process of running the report through the proper channels to investigate the lights. First, he reported to Staff Sergeant Bud Stevens, who then ran it to Sergeant Crash McCabe.
Cabe.
His name is Crash
Crash
McCabe?
McCabe, dude.
Holy shit.
That's your next t-shirt.
Yeah.
That's a good name.
I'm Crash McCabe.
I'm starting to rethink naming my son now.
Oh, nice.
How about you
Crash
just show me where
Moody?
that show me where that fucking alien is, and you get the fuck out of
There's
here.
some good names in here, man.
That's Crash McCabe is amazing.
Yeah.
He gets all the girls. Walks
Oh
in.
yeah.
God, it's Crash McCabe! Sign my breasts!
Crash McCabe, who in turn got a hold of Sergeant John Coffey, who then ran it up to the on-duty flight chief, which was Staff Sergeant Jim Penniston. Right?
So basically, what the
He
reason
called
that I
2
put that,
friends,
yeah.
and then he called 2 friends.
Well, the
and
reason
he
that I
called
put
2
that in there
friends.
is just so you can see how many people were aware of what's going on. Like you have to, like they thought there was seriously something going on, so they had to run it through the channels, proper channels to get it to be able to like go investigate and stuff like that. They have to, you know. So there's a lot of
Ranks, the
people that
ranks.
actually knew about what was going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking sad.
Oh, did you hear that though? The way it came up, it almost sounded like a
It was like
commercial.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah, it's a
You need like the waves crashing on the beach, the little lines. And the,
That's the high life, ladies and
So
gentlemen.
at this point, Penniston decided to head out and check out the situation himself. He's like, bullshit. I got to go see what's going on.
Well, they thought
Right?
they legitimately thought that there was like a downed civilian aircraft in the forest. So they're like, we should probably go make sure there's no one fucking dead out there.
Right. Okay. Especially on our watch. That would
Yeah,
suck. Yeah.
yeah.
So he headed out to the east gate with his driver, Edward Cabanzog.
Cabin sag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look at that.
I think it's cabin sag. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's what it looks like.
As they arrived at the east gate, Bud Stevens would make a strange remark. He
Bud.
said, quote, "It didn't crash. It landed. White, this was going on."
oh, man.
The funny part is we went through all this earlier. Wow, this was going on.
You know what? Fuck you. It's white.
What this was going on. While this was going on, they had had to control the control tower check around with their radar and also contact other Air Force bases in the area, as well as Heathrow Airport to see if they saw anything. Makes sense.
Heathrow's about 100 miles away. 100 miles away.
Okay, so right now they're trying to just say, hey,
They're like,
this
yeah,
is
was there
going on.
anything? Did you guys see anything? Did
Right.
anybody else see this?
Yeah.
Whatever. And, whatever.
So it turns out about
They're
15
touching
minutes.
base. They're
Yeah.
just touching base.
Hey-oh.
Hey, get
That's a
it?
good one. That's a good one.
Touching bases.
Yeah.
Good one. Yeah. So it turns out about 15 minutes before the lights were seen, a bogey was seen on radar but disappeared as it got directly over Woodbridge.
Oh my God.
Oh.
I have one.
Say what? like that was everyone at once. Oh my God.
We were scared. We were
Yeah,
scared.
we're just adding to the story.
Like my head just was like. I had a really good Humphrey Bogart thing going on, but now I'm not going to do it. So Penniston, Burroughs, and another dude named Master Sergeant Chandler headed into the forest while Cabin Sag hung back. As they got,
So they all started going in, and Cabin Sag stood by the
He's-
Jeep. He waited by the Jeep.
okay.
He was,
Is
their
it-
he was like their driver, basically.
Okay.
He was Penniston's driver.
Cece's driver?
Yes.
Okay.
What did she sing? What was the hit? There was a hit. Somebody Google that. You got Google over here?
I got it.
That's going to drive me crazy if I don't know, because I know it. I know the name, right? It's from the 80s. She's
Yeah.
an 80s singer, right?
Cece Penniston, yeah.
Pop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. So
Wow, her real name is actually CC Pennington, but she changed it to Penniston.
What a traitor.
you don't like your
Wait.
dad, do you?
She changed one letter in her name. Good
Oh
job.
no, never mind. Never mind.
It is Pennington, isn't it?
It is. But for some reason, it came up as Pennington. I don't remember.
Anyway, we suck. Whatever. So anyway, someone out there started a cover band.
Finally,
It happened to me right in front of my face, and I cannot hide it.
Oh, good Lord. Anyway,
Anyway,
Put some syrup on it. It was awesome.
some log cabin syrup.
Oh my god. I wish I could do that on random. That's amazing.
So as they got closer to the lights, all of their radios began to
oh,
malfunction.
shit, dude.
It was as if something was trying to interfere with the radio signal in order to trust messages back to the base.
Relay.
Okay. So in order to to relay the messages back to the base,
Right.
Chandler went back to the Jeep while Penniston and Burroughs pressed on. So in other words, one guy went back because the other guy was already there.
In their range, their radios were acting up like they couldn't get very much range. So they had one, they kind of like made, like they went in, this guy was here, and then he relayed to him and kind of whatever.
Back in the 80s, it probably wasn't that great. The range.
Maybe, I don't know.
You know what I mean? We had walkie-talkies as a kid in the 80s.
I don't know.
They
Yeah.
Bruce Hornsby had a
You'd
pretty
be
good
like
range.
5 feet away. It's like, can you hear me? And you're like right there. Yeah, I can hear you.
Glad you got that.
I got that.
Thank you.
Bruce Hornsby and the range. Yes. Anyway.
That's a good one. Come on, that's just
Anyway.
God, whatever, dude. I'm digging deep on that one.
All the old people out there loved it, I'm sure.
What did he sing?
Bruce Hornsby. He did the fucking Mandolin Rain.
No,
and,
he was that. That
Tupac took, right?
Yeah.
Tupac took that.
Tupac stole
That's
it.
Yeah,
just
he
the
stole it from
way
him,
it is.
Yeah.
Things will never
And he did Mandolin Rain was
Yeah.
another one. Yeah.
Mandolin Rain's
video-
actually a good song.
That's a great
The
song.
video was like kind of like the Karate Kid on the beach, like
Yeah,
some
yeah.
like Ralph Macchio looking guy. He's walking in slow motion, like that's just the way it is.
That's like every 80s video.
And instantly Richard Marx was coming into my head for some reason.
Richard Marx.
Yeah. That was yeah.
He was a swooner.
That hair though.
Oh yeah, he had the hair, man.
Yeah.
Today in the
Marks
vault.
We're bringing all the bad boys back.
So as they walked further into the
Don't be mad because you missed all the good shit.
I know, right?
Hey, I am, man. I'm jealous.
I do feel bad for you.
Yeah, what year were you born?
95.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
90s. The late 19th century, yes.
Yeah. We had great music in the 80s.
Yeah. And the 90s.
Yeah.
Hey, I
Wait,
listen
wouldn't
to
that be the
stuff.
late 20th century?
Technically, it would be. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, these
Yeah,
kids
yeah.
are just, they're smart on their own.
I'm like,
On their
what?
own. Yeah.
So as they walked further into the forest, they described a change in the air as they drew closer to the lights.
Uh-oh.
They said it felt like the air was charged with electricity and the hairs on the back of their necks and arms
Shocking.
stood up. After this, they said it became hard to walk, as if they were wading through deep water.
Yeah.
They finally made it to the source of the light in a small clearing. They say there was a sudden explosion of bright light, except that it was completely silent. Both men hit the deck and waited for a minute to be sure it was safe.
Hit the deck! Get down! Yeah.
I would have done
The
it.
drill sergeant guy, hit the deck! And they both just jumped down in the mud.
Just sitting there like, okay.
That would be like the best moment for that, right?
He just stands up.
Yeah. The aliens are like, nope. Just in their ship and keep going.
And what the fuck
Yeah.
was that? Anyway. Oh my God. When the men stood up, they saw something unbelievable. Penniston claims they were looking at a small triangular craft, roughly 9 foot tall by 9 foot wide.
9 times.
9 times, resting on a tripod like legs. Okay,
It's
so
not that big, though, if you think about it. 9 feet by 9 feet.
so it's triangular. So you're talking like this, and it's 9 by 9.
It's
It's
not
not
that
big.
big.
It's like this room, yeah.
Room is
It's like a car.
roughly, yeah.
About 9 feet.
Yeah.
No one ever said they were giants.
Wait. Was it a DeLorean? Oh, yeah.
There's there's sketches of it.
Ooh,
Do we
gotta get back
Yeah, we got 'em,
in
buddy.
time.
May or may
He's
not.
got 'em.
We
He's got
may
'em.
or may not have them.
Um,
It's classified information, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Oh, it's classified.
It's classified. Top secret.
So he said the way it looked was similar to a lunar lander.
Like how it was. Have you seen the picture of the lunar lander?
Yeah,
Where it's
so it's
like
got the
the
three little-
capsule and then it's got the legs
Yeah.
that come out.
Yeah, it was in that movie that we went to the moon. You know that?
Yeah, the one that what's his name did?
Yeah, that fake movie.
Yeah,
James-
Who they
James
said did
Cameron?
that? No.
fucking
Was it James Cameron?
Is it Kubrick?
Kubrick, Stanley
Yeah.
Kubrick made it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We did that, remember?
Yeah. Kubrick faked the moon landing.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Explosions, man. That's why.
Yeah.
The dust didn't settle as it should.
Now listen, if you don't
Big debate.
if you don't believe that we've landed on the moon, then that's
You're an
completely
asshole.
fine. Okay.
Right to the point. All right.
I was trying to be nice about it, but okay.
No, I'm sick of being nice.
You. No, that's fine.
There's no more being nice.
Ooh.
We're not nice.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
We're just gonna turn this into a fucking
That's all it's ever been.
classic rock podcast.
You're just winding up that kid that trolled you on the message boards. The one that said you guys swear too much.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be
fuck
like,
him too.
Fuck that guy. He's gonna call Moody out by
Oh,
name.
yeah.
Good. I'll fuck him up. He's not getting a sticker.
No sticker for you.
Fuck that guy.
Well, on the side of the craft, he says there were a bunch of blue lights while a white light was on top.
Nice.
The craft was completely silent. Penniston decided to approach closer. Now, honestly, though, on a side note here, that would be kind of weird that you see the ship come down.
We didn't even see it come down.
But I'm saying, like, you're walking up to it and there's like zero noise.
Yeah, nothing. There's like he called like a bubble, and once he got inside that bubble, yeah, it was just like,
It's kind of weird.
Or you see a little snake head comes out. It's like,
hey, navigator, get back in the plane! Ah!
Flight of the Navigator. Anybody?
Yeah, flat on that. I got you.
Drink.
I got you.
That's a
Hey,
drink,
that
right?
was that.
There you go.
I had to give him the scoreboard somehow.
There you go. That's good.
I was
like
saving
it.
that one. I'm not going to lie.
That was good.
How can I put in Flight of the
No, it was good.
That was good.
It was seamless. And then you admitted that you were fucking.
I know. Because it was so obscure, though.
That's a good one.
So
I love that movie.
Oh, it was a great movie. He described the area around the craft as a bubble
Yeah, there you
field.
go. See?
Okay.
Told you.
As he entered the field, he claims that all of the ambient noise in the area ceased. He described it like the air was completely dead. The static charge he had felt earlier was even stronger. He claimed to turn and yell to Burroughs, but Burroughs was just standing and staring at the object. Can you imagine? And he's like, oh,
I see lights. Do you guys see lights?
man, I hope he's okay. I can't hear you, man. Sorry. I don't know why it was Tommy Chong there for a second.
Say what? Cheech Chong now.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Space
Whatever.
Coke.
So the static charge, like I said, he had felt earlier was even stronger, and he couldn't, Burroughs couldn't hear him or whatever. So Penniston said he thought he was going to die. In his head, he thought this object a weapon. He didn't know if his radio was working, so he decided to pull out his notebook and start documenting the incident that way.
Okay,
So he was
so
sketching,
this-
right?
This is
Or was
where
he writing or sketching?
both.
Okay.
This is where a lot of people. This is one of those times where a lot of people listening might be like, "Ah, that notebook is bullshit." Yeah, and they can kiss my ass. So, all right.
And do we have anything from that notebook?
Yes, there are pictures. I posted a picture earlier that had all the binary code. That was in his notebook. If you believe that, if you don't, then
YouTube.
whatever.
Listen, we're on YouTube, and if you guys are on there watching right
There
now,
are,
you can actually see what we're talking about right
So
now.
there
Oh,
are
I got it.
you can keep reading. There's some pictures in there that coincide with what
That's what
you're
he
about to talk
drew?
about.
That's what he drew.
Oh, come on, man.
What'd you put up there? The signals, the signs.
That's a little
All right,
much.
keep reading. Keep reading.
Okay.
If I'm freaked out,
Hey,
I'm just gonna say, if I'm freaked out
He might not.
and
be
I'm
at
writing
this
in a
point.
book, it's not gonna look like that.
He had the time to do.
Just keep
cursive.
reading, dude.
All right,
Just keep reading, man.
Okay, so he's writing in his notebook. As he got nearer to the object, he said he saw strange symbols on the side of the craft.
Which is what you, I believe, just showed.
Yes.
They appeared to be etched into the side of the craft. Etched. Penniston said the symbols were not recognizable. He said at best there was a passing resemblance to Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Oh boy.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Being a real man's man, Penniston then decided it would be a great idea to touch the object because,
Just touch it.
he's that
touch
guy.
the butt.
Yeah.
Just touch
yeah. I don't know what that is.
Just touch it.
Just poke it with a stick. He's
that would be angry.
That would be us. We'd be standing in the back. We would take a stick. It's like
throwing
gravel. Fucking gravel.
it just hits and slides off the craft. It doesn't do anything. We're like,
We're just like, huh.
Until the window rolls down and it's like, hey, stop it! I didn't come here to get shit thrown in my car! So he decided to touch the object. He said that it was smooth, like running your hand over glass, but the symbols were rough, like sandpaper.
Ooh.
He then claims that as he touched the symbols, the lights became blindingly bright,
Yep.
and when he took his hand back, the light went back to normal.
And dimmed back down.
Yeah, turn the brights on. Get the fuck off my car.
Yeah, back up! click, 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 click.
That was their equivalent of flashing their bright at him. Bro, back up, bro.
After this, Penniston stood there and just tried to document the situation as much as he could in his notebook. Okay, because you showed those pictures.
So
right?
there's a couple different. They put up a couple that gave you a couple different pictures of the notebook stuff. So
Got you.
just throw them up there.
Oh, I did. Oh,
Yeah,
they're,
great,
they're
great.
up there. Oh, look.
Good.
Look at those hieroglyphs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think there's a sketch. I think the sketch of the craft is in there. I think.
That one's definitely in Stargate.
Yes, that one.
For
That
sure.
one is in Stargate.
Yep.
That is like the epitome of the Stargate.
Yep.
Probably where they got it from,
James
bro.
Spader went up there and he's like, "This is it."
What did he do?
Symbol.
Wait, is that how James Spader speaks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
This is it. This is the Stargate right here. This is the Stargate. The symbol, the triangle, circle thing.
Wait, he was the bad guy in Wolf, right? With not Nicolas Cage, Jack Nicholson.
I
James
don't
Spader,
remember.
right?
I haven't
Was
seen
he?
that movie in a long
Yeah, he
time.
was also. What's the
He's in one of those.
Red Line? What's that stupid show he's in right now? Black Hat.
Black Mirror.
No, it's the one where it's like a CIA, whatever, and or the FBI, and he's like a bad guy, and you're what? You know what? It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's who it is. So after a bit, the craft began to lift off the ground. Penniston said everything seemed to move in slow motion. After a few minutes, the craft made it over the top of the trees. After clearing the trees, it silently flew away at what was described as an impossible speed. Literally, Penniston wrote in his notebook, quote, "Speed impossible."
And we showed that.
That's what it said. Speed dash impossible.
in beautiful cursive as well, too.
Is it on there? It does say it on there. Beautiful, beautiful.
Well, it's better than like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Because that's what I would have put.
Look,
like,
you
oh
guys
my-
all need to go to YouTube and look at this shit,
Or
by the way.
Speed 2 cruise control.
Right.
Oh, nice. I was going to say, or wow, but that was
OMG.
better.
OMG. No.
By the way, the Owen Wilson. Jeez. I was laughing so hard. I had my earbuds in, and like I'm working on this machine at work, and I'm sitting there doing it with you guys. Like I'm sitting there going, "Wow!" And, like people are walking by, like just looking, like, "What the fuck is wrong with this guy?" I'm like, "Wow!" It like sticks in your head like a song.
Oh, yeah. Which is great too, because it was brought up last week that
Danny, brother, she's like, would that whole thing count? Like every time we said "wow," isn't that a drink technically?
Oh,
yeah, that would be a drink, right? I mean, because we did it all the entire
reference.
episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's rough.
I imagine everyone got fucked up.
May
So
have
that's good.
killed somebody.
So you may be asking yourself, what about Burroughs?
What about Burroughs?
That's the guy you yelled back, and
Hey.
there was just standing there with his finger up his butt,
Hey.
right?
John, what about Burroughs?
Well, despite standing only about 10 feet from Penniston, his recollection of the event was completely different.
Oh, explain.
Or was it?
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, Burroughs maintains he saw something. Okay, he saw something. He claims that after the silent explosion of light and after hitting the deck, he saw no craft whatsoever.
Nope.
Man.
He said he saw a red oval sun-like object in the field. He also claims that unlike the up-close encounter that Penniston had, his encounter lasted only seconds. Oddly enough, this was his official statement. In his original statement taken roughly 72 hours after the incident occurred, he had included a speech of a craft that looked very similar to Penniston. It's fucked up, isn't it?
Sketch of the crowd.
This is why I needed it earlier.
Dude, you gave me 4 fucking days. Leave
So
me alone.
what? You knew. We talked about it last week. Anyway,
This was a
so he had
big-
included a sketch. So he
off.
So he had his own sketch.
Yeah, well, he didn't have one at the time, like when it was happening. But afterwards, they had him give his statement, and he drew a sketch as well.
He's looking over at Penniston's paper like, "What did you write? Can I see yours?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Penniston's over there just
Look, I'll make mine a little different so they don't think we're cheating.
Penniston's over there just like,
Yeah, do back up.
God, no.
So he included a sketch of a craft that looked very similar to Penniston's
Right.
sketches.
He may have given
from
a
his
speech,
encounters.
but I don't know.
Right. Since people will point to this as a sign that this was definitely a real event and that his official statement was cleaned up a bit to try and cover up the true nature of what actually happened. So he initially came out and he said, "Nah, I didn't see shit." And then later he was like, "Well, you know."
No. He initially drew the sketch, and then in his later quote unquote official statement, he said, "I didn't see a craft. I saw a light."
Oh, so he actually sketched first.
yes.
Oh.
Yeah, when he was
How do we
giving
know
his
that?
original
Was it
giving
a
his original
sketch-off?
statement.
Oh, I don't know.
I think they were playing Pictionary.
Was it an Etch-a-Sketch?
It could have been.
That would have been amazing.
He's out there like
carrying a fucking
He's like, "Dude, I got it on this," and he walks over and goes, "Let me see it," and shakes it, and it just goes away. No!
Damn it, man!
You picture this UFO with all these beautiful lights. It's just so groundbreaking. And then there's Bud, and he's got the timer. He's like, "Go!" flips it upside down. And these guys are like, Mike.
Is this close?
Yeah.
No? All right.
No fair. I didn't even see a craft. All I saw was a light, man. Come on.
The aliens are in the cockpit like, they don't see us.
The one back there is really stupid. At this point, both men agreed that after the initial silent light explosion, they saw a light rise into the sky and headed over the coast, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Headed out east towards the coast.
Okay. After the craft took off, the two men noticed something else.
Uh-oh.
You got that?
Yeah. it's doing
Although
some
this
flight
was the
control.
middle of winter and the ground was essentially frozen, they were able to see 3 indentations on the ground. This told them that something extremely heavy had been there.
Okay, this is another point of contention with skeptics and assholes. I literally read
They talk about the foxes or whatever dug into the ground.
I literally read that someone said that they were rabbit tracks.
Rabbit. That's what I saw.
The
And
indentations.
in a perfect equilateral triangle pattern on the ground in a clearing that was clearly
That was
disturbed.
9 foot by 9 foot by
Yeah.
9 foot.
And the ground was actually frozen at the
Yeah.
time.
And it was
Like we're
frozen.
talking the end of December.
So we're talking big ass rabbits.
This was like New Year's, like
These
December
were like
20th.
fucking
No,
English
no,
rabbits.
dude. No, we're talking about.
What does that mean? Dude, these weren't any ordinary rabbits. They were fucking English rabbits, you know? That's why.
He goes, what's up, dog?
What's up, mate?
What's up, dog?
Bottoms up.
So again, they noticed this whole thing. So this told them that it was something heavy, and on top of the indentations created an almost perfect equalateral triangle. Claimed Penniston. So in other words, again, like
Yeah.
Moody says,
Rabbits are good at geometry.
They are. They're good.
That's where we learned it
They're
from.
smart.
Yeah.
As they looked around more, they noticed that there were many broken branches on the trees around the clearing where the supposed craft had landed. These branches were broken from low
Sasquatch.
on the trees
No, big rabbits, dude.
all the way to the tops of the trees. Kind of like
Yeah,
something.
dude. Went up and down. I didn't read anything. I didn't read what the skeptics had to say about that. They probably just assume that it's not true.
Well, I don't know. I can probably shit something out for you real
It's going to
quick.
sound like I'm making fun of the skeptics, and I am.
Well, then, roll with it, baby.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
Roll with it, baby.
like,
That's
why the
Steve Winwood, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Steve Winwood's a badass, by
Yeah,
the way.
yeah,
the
he's awesome.
reason I make fun of the skeptics is, why the fuck do you got to ruin everyone else's good time?
Because
I'm a skeptic,
they
but
don't
I'm
have a good time.
Yeah.
Because they're dick faces and they're shitty at parties and nobody likes them.
But
Wow.
But
At
they-
least the guys that believe in shit are fun to listen to and talk to.
Tell
the
us
guys
how
that are
you
like,
really
well, actually, I think it was a rabbit track. Fuck that guy. Fuck those guys, man.
Swallow.
I got it. There you go. Dude, I almost snarfed that shit everywhere. Woo! Not on the equipment. Please.
Sorry,
Yeah,
go
that's
ahead.
no.
Proceed.
So when they returned to the Jeep to meet up with Cabin Sag and Chandler, the two men would find out something else.
fucking Chandler.
That's pretty crazy.
Chandler.
Chandler.
Oh my god.
Chandler Bing.
That counts, right?
Yeah, that's counts.
Drink,
Yeah,
bitches.
drink up.
Drink, motherfuckers.
Absolutely.
High life. Where you at, bitch?
And if
Empty.
you're driving, please pull over and take a sweat.
That's right. Just not in front of the cops. That's all we ask.
Yeah.
I actually said that earlier. I was
Yeah.
like, today nowadays a craft beer, you can't even tell that it's a beer.
Yeah.
It looks like it looks like that. I've actually drank beer that's probably in the same kind of can as that.
Probably got the
Probably
same
the
shit
same.
in it,
You want to
too.
show the
Probably.
camera?
You gotta quit doing that to me, man. Every time.
You're like nervous or something.
Every time you
You
point.
keep pointing in all these directions. I'm looking around like, where?
Jeff behind the curtain.
Where should I put it?
The one right in front of you. There
right
you
there.
go.
There you go.
G Fuel.
Yeah, see how that is?
G Fuel is amazing, by
Brought
the
to you
way.
by Jeff.
I thought it was Gafool.
This is Tetris Blast. It scrambles your brain like Tetris.
Ooh.
Does your poop come out that color?
Yeah, in different shapes.
Different blocks. You're sitting hovering, like trying to match them.
And it hurts.
I need an L. I need an L.
You're sitting there and it hurts so bad. And you're like,
So back to this. The two
What
men.
are we talking about again?
Tetris.
yeah, Chandler.
Chandler.
Oh, yes.
Chandler. So the two men figured they were gone for 5 or 10 minutes out of radio contact. So
Oh,
you're talking about the two men. We're talking about.
Penniston and Burroughs.
Stayed at the Jeep.
They felt like they
They
were.
went to the thing.
They went after the craft lifted, and impossible speed.
Right.
Speed.
Speed impossible.
Speed.
That's a shirt.
Believe it.
That's a shirt right there.
Yeah.
Speed impossible.
Absolutely.
They walk back to the Jeep,
I got to write that down.
and
That's a good one.
so they walked back to the Jeep, and they basically assumed that they felt like they were gone for like 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay.
But
But
Was it a time lapse?
you'll see.
Perhaps.
Old man John's got to write this down so he doesn't forget it.
hold on a second. I have to use my sketch pad.
Grab the notebook. Where's the pen? Is it out of ink?
All right. So in all actuality, they were actually out of radio contact for a whopping 45 fucking minutes.
Holy shit.
What's more, not only was there lost time, the two men's watching, the two men.
The two men's watches.
Hey-oh.
It's like you want me to have an aneurysm. I swear to God.
Maybe.
The two men's watches were running 45 minutes slow. So in other words, the whole 45 minutes they were gone, their watches were slower.
Correct.
Magnetic. Well, we know about this.
Yeah.
Dude, I got you.
The compass is like,
I got you, bro.
I got you, bro.
yeah.
It's like time stopped for them during the incident.
Yeah.
Cabin Sag and Chandler had been in contact with the base checking in, which was even more proof the men had been gone much longer than they had thought. Okay.
It's true.
Which has
It's
got to
true.
add a little more credence to for Cabin Sag, because Cabin Sag, not for Cabin Sag, but what's his name? The fucking one guy.
Burroughs.
Burroughs, yeah.
Yeah.
For him, where he was like, well, later on, I don't know what I saw. Dude, you were with him, and you both were gone for fucking way longer than you thought you were. You know what I
He
mean?
was told not
True.
to disclose information.
Yeah.
so.
Well, we'll talk.
On top of all of this, they found that others had seen something crazy as well.
It's true. It's true. They had.
We'll talk about the things they might actually have seen later when talking about possible explanations. That night, there was another incident
Losers.
reported. 2 other men reported seeing lights in the forest as well. They claimed that when they went to check it out, a bright light engulfed them and their Jeep stalled out. They could not get the Jeep to start again. Man, they got a lot of fucking Jeeps out there. Well, that's a military
army,
base,
right?
right?
It was probably
Air Force.
probably
All
a Geo Metro, not an actual G.
You say a Geo Metro,
Yeah, just
a sidekick.
yeah.
God damn it, Burroughs! I told you we need real Jeeps.
A camouflage Geo.
Geo.
It wasn't that was the Geo Metro was the car. It was the I can't remember what the Geo.
The Geo Metro was the Jeep.
I thought that was the little car.
Maybe, I don't know. I just picture urban
I know what you're
camo,
talking
urban
about. Yeah.
camo,
Well,
the
this-
gray.
The Suzuki Sidekick is the same thing as the Geo when
This
you're
is the
talking
Geo,
about
yeah,
it. What
yeah.
the freak? Was it the Metro?
No, it wasn't the Metro.
No.
The Metro was the car.
what
It's
was
not
it?
the Metro.
It's the car.
I told you.
Geo.
It's a manufacturing variation of the Suzuki Cultus.
That's not. We know that now.
Yeah, now you do, because I just told you.
Suzuki Sidekick. What is
no.
the Geo
Hold
version?
Hold on. I fucking told you that it was the car. God.
Anyway, while you look that up, the USAF was obligated to call British authorities to report that they had gone off base to investigate the incident. So instead of
looking it up,
Yeah, I just looked it up.
So informing the military, they called the local police for some
Tracker.
reason. Tracker.
Geo-tracker.
Yes.
GeoTrack.
My dad loves those fucking things.
It was like the great value of a
yeah,
Jeep.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like back in the day, like
yeah.
the RAV4 of like.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It was like if you
but they're
bought your-
all-wheel drive, man.
you
They're
buy
like
your-
actually
original RAV4. Yeah,
if you
it's
bought
like
your
when
Jeep at Save a Lot.
Like if you had
Ollies.
if you had an abundance of sweater
lots.
vests, you drove a Geo Tracker.
Oh,
Like, that's
yeah,
just
yeah.
that was the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like sweater vests.
Do you?
You fucking
Should
would,
you
dude.
need a tracker?
Fuck. Yeah, you're right. Do they make those anymore?
I'm sure you can find a used one.
Yeah, they're like $3,000 or something for.
Probably pissed out the money for
Dude,
it.
probably 300.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, my dad wants one again because he loves them down in West Virginia. It's like a little
Geo
go-kart for
Tracker?
him. Yeah, he loves them. Loves them. It's all-wheel drive. He's like, dude, this thing gets me through everything. I'm like, all right, buddy. So I'm trying to get him another one because the one he has now has like 250,000 miles on it or some shit.
That's it.
No shit.
Yeah,
Tell him to
that's
get
it.
him a new
Shut
one.
your face.
Tell him when he gets to $1 million, you'll get him a new one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, he might. You never know.
Yeah, you never-
Little four-banger. So anyway, we're still talking about this here. So instead of forming the military, they called the local police for some reason. We're not sure why.
Yeah, they didn't. It's kind of a weird thing. Like, I don't know why they wouldn't have called in like the British military, like the Royal Air Force.
Right. So the
Yeah,
police,
contact.
in their official report, they reported that upon receiving the call, they had found a place where it appears that a craft had landed. So the police were like, okay, we see where something could
Yeah,
have been.
I guess
wait,
they ended up getting called out again, and then they had like another weird report. I don't know.
But
The police reports were stupid.
But they're in England, right? I'm just saying the cops out there aren't going to do a whole lot. Let me go over here with my little pen and paper. Oh, what's going on around here?
Bulby stick.
I got me whistle.
England, I love you, by the way.
The cops over here would have fucking opened fire on them.
Exactly. Would have fucking dumped the mag on them. That's my point.
Wouldn't have done anything.
Speed impossible.
That is like a good shirt, yeah. As one would expect, the next day, the men involved were getting quite the ribbing from everyone else. At this point, another major player would enter the picture. That morning, Colonel Charles Halt
This guy
reported for
guy.
duty at 5 a.m.
Duty.
Good for him. My name's Colonel Charles Halt.
He's a colonel, dude.
Colonel?
Colonel Halt.
The aforementioned Sergeant Crash McCabe, when asked by Halt what was going on, said, quote, Penniston and Burroughs were out chasing UFOs all night. Halt recommended, so he's like, they did it, and we don't believe shit. That's what's going on right now. Halt recommended that they use the term unexplained lights instead of UFOs so that things would not get out of hand. Immediately, paperwork concerning the night's escapades were pulled and classified as secret. This included indecent and incident. No, that's
Indecent
okay.
I mean, they might have been indecent. I didn't read them.
They included indecent incident reports and complaint reports, as well as security blotters.
Yeah, someone came in and fucking pulled everything, dude.
Okay, so the off thing about this is that normally this would have gone through to Colonel Halt, but he was not made aware.
He was usually involved in the process.
Right, and they did not tell him shit.
No, they were like, fuck Halt, man.
Yeah, they were pulled by base commander Ted Conrad.
Right.
There's always a Conrad. There's always one.
Major Ted Conrad reporting for duty, sir.
What the fuck?
Wait, what?
And Halt fucking hates him.
I had a totally different vision of him in my head.
Halt's sitting there like, oh, here he comes again. Hi, sir.
Fucking
Sounds like a
Ted.
fucking Canadian fucking show.
Ted. It's always Ted. It's Todd and Ted.
Fucking Ted.
Todd.
Todd. Major Edward Drury thought that the entire thing was just a Christmas prank, but after talking to Penniston and Burroughs and getting more of the story, as well as hearing about the bogey on the radar,
Did you say a Christmas prank?
yeah.
Oh, dude, there's a lot of that shit. We'll get to it.
Remember what we
Really?
talked about in the Christmas ghost stories and stuff? It was all about
yeah.
spooking and kind of doing things. So
Yeah.
Christmas
Spooking, huh?
Christmas is the time to
Spookly ookly.
it's time to spook them.
Ted.
Yes, it is, sir.
Let's get spooky, everybody.
Everybody, let's go and get spooky.
Can we just like scare them a little bit?
I super love Christmas.
10 floor drill sergeant.
Anyway, holy shit.
You can send all hate mail.
Yes.
What? He's just happy about Christmas.
You know what? I bet you the same guy that fucking complained that we swear too much. It's probably like, okay, now this is ridiculous.
This is over the top.
This is just too far. You know what? That guy can fuck off.
You know
guys
what?
are so offensive and
Just
racist.
wait. There's more. It's coming. So,
This light flashes and it bothers me.
I noticed that.
it's the ghost.
No,
It's your
the
goddamn
aliens, man.
shitty electricity. That's what it is.
It's not my shitty electricity, first of all, bud.
It's not good.
So it's anyway. So he was getting more of the story, and he started actually thinking about the radar, and decided to investigate. So he took some of the guys with him and went and took some pictures and checked out the site.
Oh,
They kind of
That's
figured this
the
would
Drury
be.
guy did that.
Yeah, this is the other guy that just stepped in. Major Drury.
Major Drury.
They kind of figured this would be the end of the whole situation, but in actuality, it was only the end of the first of the two incidents.
That was actually on time. Wow.
Yeah, I almost missed it. I almost hit the wrong button.
The next day, on the 27th, there was a combat support group award ceremony scheduled for the evening at the on-base bar
That
called
sounds fun, dude.
Woody's.
Because it was
Let's get a Woody.
it was at Woodbridge Air Force Base, so they called it Woody's.
oh.
I just think it's amazing they had a bar on base.
Dude,
Yeah.
they're basically cities. They have bars. They have like stores.
Do we
and
have
shit.
those with ours?
Yeah,
They have
Yeah, we
bars
do.
and shit
Yeah.
there?
Yes, we do. Yes, yes.
No, we don't.
Been there, done that, seen that. Yes, we do. Dude.
What are they called?
Dude, they're called
Bars?
on-base bars.
I mean, like,
Well, it depends wherever you go. They're like more like local named and stuff.
I think I think all the bases have Dick's Last Resorts on them.
Applebee's.
nobody outside of Ohio knows what the hell that even means.
Fucking Applebee's.
Yeah, you know what? If
Dick's
they don't
Last
know,
Resort. Oh my God.
if they don't know, fuck them.
Okay,
Are
so
they really only in Ohio?
no, I don't know if they were or
Dick's
not.
Last Resort?
I thought
Yeah.
those were like nationwide.
They might have been.
I mean,
Well,
they're
if you're
out
not
west.
from the U.S. or if you're not familiar with Dick's Last Resort, there used to be a chain of restaurants that you would walk in and people would purposely insult
They
you
would basically berate you
the entire time.
They were assholes.
You'd walk in and be like, "Hey,
Where
you
the
guys getting,
fuck?
you getting a fucking seat or what?" You were like, "Whoa!"
Where the hell was that job when I was looking for one?
Oh,
I'd have been
or
perfect.
they
I
wouldn't
would've-
easy.
dude, I would have ran that company.
Or they surprise you. Like if you were ordering, I would come up and be like, "Hey, can I help you?" And you'd be like, "Yeah, I'll take a sandwich and this." Okay. And white or rye toast. Okay. And you want a Coke? Okay. Yep. All right. Fuck off. And then you're left there. You're like, "Wait, did that just happen?"
And then you're like, "Okay, did he actually get the order or not?"
So am I
No,
gonna-
there's
am I
it
gonna
has to
get
be
my
around because there's like a bunch of
sandwich,
TikToks around like the actual workers working or whatever. It's yes, there's a lot of stuff going on. They're still around.
TikTok wasn't around
Wait,
back then.
the Dicks are still around?
Dick's, yes.
Dick's
there-
Last Resort is still around?
There's always
there
gonna
has to be
dicks
because
around,
there's
dude.
literally like a restaurant where there's a video of a kid who walks over.
No,
and
there's other restaurants that are similar to
that
that.
are like that.
Yeah.
That's shenanigans.
Hey, oh, that's a drink. Eat up.
I swear to Christ,
Or
I'll
drink up.
pistol whip the
Eat up.
next guy that says shenanigans.
That's another one.
It's the goat.
Wait. What was his name?
Farva.
Farva.
Hey, Farva.
Hey, Farva.
What's that restaurant you like with all the goofy shit on the walls and the mozzarella sticks?
That counts. That counts.
So they decided to go to this, or they had this big thing going on at the bar. Whatever.
Woody's.
At Woody's.
At Woody's.
At Woody's.
That night during the festivities,
That was really good.
Lieutenant Bruce England, which is crazy, his last name's England, who was on duty, came in and grabbed Colonel Holt.
We don't need to get high. Just be ourselves.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I feel like we've already done something outside of this.
So he pulled Colonel Hall aside and
I
told
would have been
him,
laughing the whole time.
he pulled him aside and told him,
Look,
that-
dude, we're having a conversation over here.
I noticed.
I'm so glad you have video now because you can see like now you get to see all the glares and like the shut the fuck up with your eyes.
The
You know?
anger, just the anger in John's
Yeah.
face.
Well, he actually pulled the Colonel aside and actually told him that the UFO had fucking returned.
Yeah, it's back, bitch.
Okay. So not only is there like, hey, by the way, remember that thing? It's like, it's fucking back. So and during this whole little, soiree they have going on right now. So
Yeah.
Holt decided that he would check this out for himself. He's like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and go, I guess. Thur, you want me to go with you?
No, you stay here.
Are you sure?
Yes.
He just does this. There's no reason whatsoever.
That dude has so much hate,
like
man.
that graphic as a silhouette with Speed Impossible above it. That's all you. That's
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Just-
Yeah.
Yeah. Just,
Speed
oh my
Impossible.
God. Anyway, so Holt decided he was going to go and check it out. He gathered a team of men that were still sober and called in Sergeant.
So in the books and shit that I've read about this incident,
Yeah.
they make it a very like
They're constantly
big-
beating the fact that
that
everyone's
everybody
sober,
is sober.
Right.
Correct.
which hopefully you guys aren't out there listening right now. So because we're getting there. You don't even have a beer yet.
Oh, you don't understand. This jacks me up like Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew jacks you
Dude,
up.
there's like 700 milligrams
That's like
of caffeine.
8 times the amount of Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew, Chip. I'm gonna come at you like a spider monkey.
Only thing you ever do is make a hot daughter. I like the way he's talking to you.
What have you done, Chip? Huh? What have you done? Anyway,
Anyway, what's going on?
So he gathered, he called in Sergeant Monroe Neville's and Master Sergeant Bobby Ball to join the group.
Bobby Brown?
Bobby Ball.
Bobby Ball.
It's my prerogative. Anyway,
Who's humping around? Y'all humping around? Ain't nobody humping around.
to join the group. Holt had the men grab some floodlights. Obviously, they want to check this shit
Like
out.
portable floodlights, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But mysteriously, the floodlights were not working.
Oh.
Now, while it must be said that some of the portable floodlights were out of gas, not all of
Yeah.
them were.
Yeah.
The ones that had gas, and by all accounts should work,
Yeah, they're like generator floodlights.
they just simply weren't.
It seems like they were ill prepared.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't run into UFOs every day.
Yeah, and they're hanging out at Woody's.
I know.
They're all like,
Don't tell Colonel back. Took all the gas out of lights.
Just bring
I needed it for the Jeep.
You'll never know.
Still tell him. He's
My Geo Tracker ran out of gas.
hey.
I hate when drunks do that, dude. I hate it so much. I've been in that situation. Yeah.
Hey. He's looking for you.
That is the worst, man.
Hell, dude, I deal with it all day.
It's the worst.
All day. Anyway. So at this point, Halt took his team to the original landing site instead of where the men were setting up the lights and where the new sighting was.
Yep.
While all of this was going down, Halt was recording everything with his portable tape recorder.
Yep.
They used Geiger counters on the area to see if they could detect any kind of radioactivity in the original landing area. Yeah, buddy. While they did find a little bit of a spike in the reading, it was definitely not a significant sign, regardless of what some people would have you believe.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that cling to that. They're like, yeah, they found radioactive activity there, and it was blah, blah, blah.
And wasn't it like on where the supposed rabbit holes were?
Supposedly.
Yeah.
So now we have giant radioactive rabbits in
From England.
From England, we have giant radioactive English rabbits.
Motherfucker, dude.
England, we got to talk about these fucking radioactive rabbits. All right. That's another new shirt.
Giant radioactive rabbits?
Giant English radioactive rabbits.
That's true, yeah.
It's going to have like a weird little hat on
Fucked up
with
teeth.
a spot of tea in his hand. He's glowing.
Like the whole time,
It's
just
fucking great.
Yeah.
little ears.
Hello.
I would do like the Tricks bunny. Like he's just throwing, instead of throwing cereal, he's just throwing.
He's radioactive.
Yeah.
He's glowing, and then he's got a tea and a crumpet.
Can I grab another one of those?
Throwing tea bags.
Yes, sir. No problem, sir.
Okay, sir.
Here's your beer.
Yes, sir, Colonel. Thank you. Appreciate
Damn
that.
it, Ted.
So again, a lot of people out there say, "Oh my God, there's like so much radioactivity
Yeah.
out there," and it really wasn't that much at all.
Correct.
All right. So another issue is that they were actually using the wrong type of Geiger counter to get the readings they got.
Son of a bitch.
This, though,
Wait, what?
so apparently there's different types of Geiger counters, and apparently some people will point to this as actual proof that there were nukes on the base, because the Geiger counters they were using were actually better suited to monitor nuclear activity and like fallout and stuff like
Like
that.
So they're
uranium.
a wider range, basically.
Right. So basically, people are like, "Why do they have them there? Then there is fucking nukes at this place."
But even still, if they were using like one that was going to be,
I think it's the way it takes the readings
okay
that makes it like.
maybe not so much the range.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically they said they were using the wrong kind, so I didn't realize there were
Maybe
several kinds.
Was it an American brand? Maybe.
No, they got it at Radio Shack.
So now you can actually hear this entire thing that's happening on the
Yes.
18 minutes of recordings that were made available to the public.
You can.
However, unfortunately, I'm only going to play.
No, don't play that. Don't play.
Oh, you don't want to play it yet?
Not yet.
Are you? You're going to tease him more?
You don't want to play the last part yet. Just keep reading, bro.
Oh man,
It's Speed Impossible.
Did you see his face get so?
I know, it's so excited. I was like, yeah!
No, it's literally going to be in like a minute and a half from now, but still.
So
Okay.
in the recordings, you can hear the point when the men again see a strange light.
Now you can play it.
For real? That was the whole fucking thing. Really? Well, as you listen, one man refers
God,
to
that
how
was
there's
so fun.
light that is there, and a light that was there and then gone and then returns again. The men sound legitimately dumbfounded. Okay, and you will hear that.
Yeah, this is awesome.
By what they are witnessing. Halt behind it begins to describe what is going on the tape. The last roughly 4 minutes of audio available is pretty much the best part of it, right?
Yeah, this is where they actually see some shit.
All right, so Jeff, you want to hear this?
Yes, I do.
And
All
according to them,
All right,
weird.
See what's going on.
All right.
Is it weird?
It's weird.
It's weird.
You got it, bro?
Do you got me muted?
Womp, womp, womp.
Say that again. About 4 feet off the ground, about 110 degrees, getting a reading of about 4 clicks. Yes.
So he's talking about the spot on the trees.
Oh, okay, gotcha. 4 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I think it's something other than the ground. I think it's something variable here. Tree right over. We just found the first night bird we've seen.
So right there, they're talking about this all night.
200 yards from the site.
Well, having your
Everything else
instrument,
is just deathly calm. There is no doubt about it. There's some type of strange flashing red light ahead. It's yellow. I saw a yellow tinge in it too. Weird. It appears to be maybe moving a little bit this way. It's brighter than it has been. Yellow. It's coming this way. It is definitely coming this way. Pieces of it are shooting off. There is no doubt about it. This is weird.
Weird.
To the left. Yeah, definitely moving left. Two lights. One light to the front, one light to the left.
So right now, I'm just going to pause this for a second. So
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now, again, remember, this is the colonel, okay? So this is like the
It's colonial, dude.
the colonel.
Ted's not there, though.
Right. Ted's like, damn it!
I always miss the good stuff.
He's back at Woody's.
Colonel will be back soon.
Of course,
So basically, right now, they're saying that there's a light coming at them.
right. They saw some lights off, and they actually, they just talked about he saw another light. So he says there's like two.
Okay.
And they say he claims it's like a red light, and it's getting brighter, and it's looked like it's coming towards them.
Red light,
and it's
green light,
and according to
red
him,
light, green light.
According to him, it's weird.
Weird. All right, we'll keep going.
Weird.
They generally sound like dumbfounded though.
Yeah, they do.
Very, very strange. Get the headset on. See if it gets any stronger. Okay. Give us your rundown. Notation that this is on a beta reading too. It's on a beta reading? Okay. Still has been removed. Okay. This is falling off it again. But it just moved to the right. Yeah. Off to the right. Strange.
These guys sound like they're high as fuck.
That's what I said earlier.
Yeah. Edge of the woods up there. Can you want to do it without lights? Just carefully. Come on. Okay, we're looking at the thing. We're probably about 200 to 300 yards away. It looks like an eye winking at you. It's still moving from side to side. And when you put the star scope on it, it sort of has a hollow center, a dark center. It's like the pupil of an eye looking at you and winking. And the flash is so bright to the star scope that it almost burns your eye.
Okay, so right
were
there.
these guys drunk? Were they?
No, remember they were the ones that said that they were sober.
ones.
Dude, they sound so fucked up.
I know.
Dude, they sound like
It sounds like
dude,
us
like
going out right now.
Eye.
If you think it's a fucking like
We're not fucked up.
craft flying at you though, you can be like, whoa, bro.
And also too, let's keep in mind here that they're going out here. Their lights aren't working. They're in the middle of this forest. It's dark as shit. They're
Well,
seeing
they have like flashlights, and
right,
shit.
but I'm saying they're seeing these lights, and he's describing the one as like a.
He said it was red, and then he said the inside was like black, like it looked like a pupil of an eye.
Yeah, so it's like an eye.
I think it was the eye of Sauron, actually, is what they saw.
It's pronounced Sauron. And no.
By the way, drink up. That's a good one.
Your magic won't work here, Saruman.
You shall not pass.
Deeply upset.
Past the farmer's house and across in the next field, now we have multiple sightings of up to 5 lights with a similar shape and all, but they seem to be steady now rather than a pulsating or glow with a red flash. We just crossed the creek, and we're getting what kind of readings now? Getting 3 good clicks on the meter, and we're seeing strange lights in the sky.
Weird.
244, we're at the far side of the second farmer's field, and they sighting again about 110 degrees. This looks like it's clear out to the
Is it
coast.
me,
It's
or
right
does
on
he
the
sound
road.
like Mr. Rogers?
Moves about a bit and flashes from time to time. Still steady or red encounter. Also, after negative readings in the satellite field, we're picking up slight readings, 4 or 5 clicks now on the meter. 305. We see strange strobe-like flashes to the rather sporadic, but there's definitely something, some kind of phenomenon.
Okay, right there. He said it's 3:05, and there's definitely like
Some
strobing
kind of
lights,
phenomena,
and there's
yeah.
some kind of phenomena there.
Yeah.
But so
And all of a sudden, LL Cool J kicked out something like a phenomenon.
I just picture Mr. Rogers, and he's got.
That's right, neighbor. You have a sweater too, and those are bright lights winking towards us.
wait, who's the neighbor in Simpsons? Why did you sound just like him?
Flanders.
Flanders. Why did you sound just like
Flanders.
Flanders?
Howdy ho, neighbor.
Hadley ho.
Totally
Looks like we got some UFOs.
Jesus didn't bring those UFOs.
Oh my god. All right, let's keep going here.
But wait, they had the Geiger counters with them, though, right? Okay.
Horizon.
Wait, say that again.
They had
That's that clicking you hear.
That's the
in the
click in the background as the Geiger counter.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's the guy nervous as shit next to him and his teeth chattering.
He's always holding
chewing on his fingernails.
It's okay, neighbor.
Colonel, it's cold as fuck out here. All right.
It's all right, neighbor. Just calm down.
Directly north, we've got 2 strange objects. Half moon shape, dancing about with colored lights on them. That gets to be about 5 to 10 miles out, maybe less. The half moons have now turned into full circles. Because I know there was an eclipse or something there for a minute or two. 2015, now we've got an object about 10 degrees directly south, 10 degrees off the horizon.
That's 10 minutes later.
So another object.
Right. Now he said they got another object south.
Right. So this thing, what if there's multiple things, then that's one thing. But if it's one thing, this thing's moving around.
Oh yeah.
Right. But they're saying that they've seen up to 5 different lights.
Okay, 5 different in different
same
in
time?
different areas.
Like around the same area, but 5.
So could it be one thing?
It's the mothership.
Well, that's what I'm
I
asking.
don't know.
guess.
It could
Yeah.
be,
All right.
theoretically.
All
Or
right.
is the one moving like fast? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
North are moving, one's moving away from us.
Oh, it's moving away from him.
Moving out fast.
Moving out
Fast.
fast. Impossible.
Impossible. Speed. Impossible. Dun
Here
dun
he
dun.
comes from the south. He's coming toward us now.
Uh oh.
Oh.
Well, we're observing what appears to be a beam coming down to the ground.
What? A beam.
This is unreal.
It's unreal.
330, 0330, and the objects are still in the sky, although the one to the south looks like it's losing a little bit of altitude. We're turning around and heading back toward the base. The object to the south is still beaming down lights to the ground.
He's like, and we're running towards the base.
We're going back to the base right now. God,
In reality, it's help!
Ted!
Yeah.
Ted! Come on, Colonel!
You can do it!
Fucking Ted. God. Anyway, hold on.
400 hours, one object still hovering over Woodbridge base at about 5 to 10 degrees.
So now it's hovering over the base.
Erratic and similar lights and beaming down this area.
And it's beaming down something over the base.
Okay, so
That's something else. Just don't worry about that.
I don't know where that... Dude, I'm not playing anything.
No, it went to the next clip after that.
That was weird.
It automatically played like the next clip.
Oh, that's
on that.
weird. I was like, what the fuck?
That happened to me. That happened to me when I first listened to it. I'm like, that's strange. I realized it is something
That's strange.
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, that's okay. So that's actual audio.
Yeah, he
footage
recorded. He said so.
of him doing that.
They've made 18 minutes available, but he claimed that he recorded like 4 to 5 hours
Oh, wow.
of shit that night, or something like that. 4 hours.
So thus far, we know that
Yes, we do.
there is definitely evidence of something.
Depends on who you talk to.
Well,
I'm just saying, bro.
Well, let's keep going through it.
Yeah.
We'll see what it says here.
Let's.
So again, they sound legitimately dumbfounded. You can just tell by in his voice. He's just like,
Yeah,
"It's
weird.
weird."
yeah.
This is strange.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Howdy ho, neighbor.
Which okay, now I'm gonna say something though, as a colonel in the U.S. Air Force.
Yeah.
The guy's probably got some pretty good sized cojones on him. Where
Yeah,
like your
probably.
standard normal person probably be like screaming like a little girl or whatever, and he's like, "What is this?" You know what I mean? Like the guys.
No. You'd be screaming like a little girl. Me and Jeff would be like, yeah!
No, I'd be out there like,
Woo!
dude, someone's playing a trick on us, and then I get freaking kidnapped. You know what I mean?
Bro,
That's what would
it's
happen.
just like a drone
Yeah.
with like a spotlight on it or something.
Why are you guys leaving? This is awesome. You know?
Guys,
Listen.
Listen.
Not real.
guys.
So
Shut up.
Halt.
Trying to say something.
At one point, he describes the light as a shooting the break of lights to the ground. Okay, like he's a beam
Yeah,
of
it's
light.
like shooting a beam
Okay.
of light down.
A beam of light,
Whatever, bro.
which you can hear on the recordings. He actually
Yeah.
says that in there. Later, according to Halt's memo, 3 star-like lights were seen in the sky, 2 to the north and 1 to the south, about 10 degrees above the horizon.
Boom.
Halt said that the brightest of these hovered for 2 to 3 hours and seemed to beam down a stream of light from time to time. The other strange thing about Halt's recording is that while only 18 minutes of recordings were made available, Halt supposedly had around 4 hours or more of recordings from that night, which he claims will probably never be released for us to hear.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So that's the other thing. They have basically the guys that were involved in this. Some of the guys said that there's a lot of questions, obviously, surrounding this case, and these guys are saying, like, "Look, we have the answers, but we are not allowed to tell you what they are because of the confidentiality and everything like that." So,
Classified.
yeah. So there's. It seems like there might be more to this that we don't know and that we may never know.
Okay, and in going through this, and again, as a skeptic, but if you had definitive proof that it wasn't that, wouldn't it be just as easy to just go, okay, here's all the information?
Yes,
here's
and
what
no.
it is.
And that's where my brain kind of goes like, okay, if maybe there's something they're hiding, but maybe it's not UFO, maybe it's something, whatever.
But if they were to deny that, and then they were to tell you exactly what it was, like that could have been like a couple of what is it? Was it U2? No, that's a band.
YouTube.
The-
And I still
But-
haven't found what I'm looking for.
but no, it's like the.
Did you just sing Under Pressure?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
That's Queen.
Queen.
U2 made a cover of it. Look it up.
Did they?
I don't believe
90s kid.
Yeah. Anyway, what are you talking
But anyways, there were spy planes that were always spotted around the world that were considered as UFOs.
Yeah, that was
because-
the Blackbird.
No,
or
that's
whatever.
the
Or no, well, the
F-71
stealth
Blackbird.
bombers did that too.
Well, yeah, but no, there was an actual spy plane that was used in this like the 60s and 70s that we were flying reconnaissance missions over like Russia and shit like
And
that.
let's not forget Bob Lazar.
Yes.
Bob Lazar.
He was hired He was hired to recreate and remake.
Yeah,
one of the
everybody.
cruise ships,
Look, everybody knows about Bob Lazar.
Yes.
Bob Lazar.
Except for the 90s
Well,
kid.
remember when we also did the what was it, the Battle of LA or whatever, when they saw those things in the sky, and it turns out that it could have
That's
been
a great album.
It could. It is the Rage Against the Machine, right?
Yeah.
But if you go back and listen to that episode or whatever, we talk about how like it could have been weather balloons. It could have been at some point in time. I do believe that they were trying to. The government, what especially at that time, and maybe even then. This is the 80s, the Cold War. Was trying to maybe create things and have like new technology and stuff like that coming out. So okay, I guess that makes sense to me. Okay,
We talked about Germany possibly having that technology.
right. Okay,
At
so
that
that
time.
that kind of makes sense then, because
Germans had all kinds of shit.
So it's not so much them saying, okay, no, there's definitely not a UFO, but them also saying it's not, but we can't tell you what it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we can't tell you what it really is.
Yeah,
Well, that's what I was saying. Like
get
they
that.
used, it was actually called the U-2 spy plane, but it was
Yeah. Now I know what
Do
you're
you
talking
feel
about.
fucking vindicated? Are you happy now?
a little bit, you know.
Are you
gets-
happy
Hey,
now?
He gets one thing right on the show, and he's like, "Hey, look at me."
I'm very proud of him. Good for you, buddy.
I'm proud of you too.
Yes.
I think
Thanks.
good job.
Hey, everyone here, you know, majority rules. It's all good, buddy.
So not really knowing what to do with all of this information.
Yeah.
That Halt sent, the memo to the Ministry of Defense and tried to get the British involved, but they were not having it. The British was like, no.
So basically at that point, they got everything.
No.
They kind of got everything
No.
together, and the United States basically wanted to pawn this off on the Brits. Like,
Of course.
they basically like, look, this happened outside of the base on your soil, so
You
we're
figure
out.
it the fuck out.
Yeah,
Right.
we've
And
done
the- and the
Roswell.
Brits-
We've done
and-
everything else.
and the
You're
Brits-
right.
There was no oil.
Your
allowed.
problem.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the Brits
yeah.
were basically like, no, we're not doing that. Sorry.
So
Nah,
the
you guys
memo,
are on your own on this one.
the memo can actually be found online, and we will post a picture of it. Do we have a picture
The
of that?
Halt memo is in there, yes.
You want to show that up there on YouTube?
Going to
We're still getting used to this out there, by the way, guys. So
There's
if you're
like
watching this on YouTube,
it's a letter, and it's got like
Jesus.
three sections.
I was hoping it'd be a
Oh, yeah,
post-it
yeah.
note, like
Yeah,
on those little
yeah,
yellow
yeah.
notes.
I
a
got
little
it.
sticky note.
Yeah.
There's you can read, you can find the Halt memo anywhere if you want to read it. I didn't put the words in there just because it's kind of long, and it's not worth, you can find it yourself.
Gotcha.
Aw.
And if you don't want to find it yourself, then you're lazy and fuck you.
I don't like Moody because he told me I had to look up stuff myself, and he's racist and homophobe. And
What? Come on now, man.
So Halt claims, Colonel Halt actually claims
Slanderous and libel right there.
that the U.S. got rid of the copy that he had sent to the higher ups, as they deemed the incident did not warrant further investigation.
Correct. So I was actually reading something about this, and he said that somebody had asked for a copy of it, and he went to get it basically through the United States, and they didn't have it. They had gotten rid of it. So he had to actually go through the Ministry of Defense in Great Britain to get a copy of his memo for somebody.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
All right, so what the fuck happened in Rendlesham Forest?
that's a good question.
Well, it
That's a good
depends on what you want to believe. There's a ton of skeptics, obviously. And then there's guys like Moody who are fully on board for the UFO theory.
question. Whoa.
I'm on
And
board.
Jeff.
I'm on board.
And Jeff.
For sure.
Yes, that's true.
What do you think?
I'm just sitting there like that one dude with his thumb up his ass. Just,
What was his name? Started with a B. Burroughs.
That was Burroughs.
Burroughs. I'm Burroughs. It's. I saw lights, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're the Burroughs to my Penniston, bro.
That's right. That's a shirt. I lost my hat. Thanks again for the hat there, Chad.
Yeah.
Thing's freaking badass.
How is Chad doing, by the way? Is he
He's
on the
good.
forums?
He's very
good,
good.
yeah.
Very good.
Hello, Chad.
He's getting banned from Facebook
Is he?
constantly. and-
Constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Constantly.
missed the Facebook.
I honestly
good.
think he's
Good.
off of Facebook more than he's on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like everybody's getting off Facebook lately, though,
He'll-
from what I've heard.
No. He's not doing it on purpose.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. But
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. He pops up every 30 days or so and comes.
When his band's been lifted.
What?
So there's one story that we can put to rest for you right off the top.
Where'd you get the can from?
Oh, yeah, in the refrigerator.
That's from last week.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's last week's beer. Ooh.
I like it better out of a bottle, anyways.
Really?
Bet you do.
I like it in the can. It's classic. Hey!
Damn it, stupid.
I don't appreciate your comments about cans.
So in December 2018, David Clark, a British UFO researcher,
Hello.
reported a claim that the incident was a setup by
So wait,
the
what are we-
SAS.
We're getting into the
Skepticism.
Skepticism.
Yes, the skeptics.
So the assholes.
Yes.
the sauce.
The SAS.
SAS?
SAS.
Yeah, SAS?
As a revenge plot on the USAF.
Yeah.
According to the story, in August 1980, the SAS parachuted into RAF Woodbridge to test the security at the nuclear site. The USAF had recently upgraded their radar and detected the black parachutes of the SAS men as they descended to the base. The SAS troops were interrogated and beaten up with the ultimate insult that they were called, quote, unidentified aliens.
Wow, those guys.
Smack the table on your camera. Oh my.
This is the ultimate insult, man. Holy shit.
You know what, dude? You're an unidentified alien.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. To enact their revenge, the SAS gave, quote, gave the USAF their own version of an alien event. Quote, as December approached, lights and colored flares were rigged in the woods.
Christmas prank.
Oh, come on.
Black helium balloons were also coupled to remote-controlled kites to carry suspended materials into the sky activated by radio controls.
Yeah, they had those back in the 80s.
Remote control kites. That's like the early drone, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It's probably just like a fan on
Wait
the
a minute,
kite
hold on
string.
a second. Your fucking floodlights needed gasoline, but you have fucking
but you have
radio control
radio-controlled
kites.
They had radio controlled cars back then still.
Yeah, but this is the SAS.
Or did they?
I guess.
The SAS was like next level. You
I
know
mean,
what I mean?
they
Next
still
level
have
Brits.
the lights
That's like
nowadays. They're still
low
the
level.
same way. The floodlights. You got a generator like on them, and you fill it up with gas, and you got a floodlight. It's the same thing. It's like the shit you see in like construction sites.
You okay? However, Clark's investigation concluded that the story was itself a hoax, meaning that what they went in and did, that story was a hoax.
Right.
This story still gets tossed around in some circles, even though there is absolutely nothing to back it up.
Correct.
So let's get that one out of here.
Except
So-
the
Deleted.
triangles. The triangle and the circles.
The fuck does a triangle have to do with it?
Well, it's
Equilateral.
It's a symbol.
I'm pretty sure that kites on remote controls wouldn't be snapping off branches, bro.
Or would they?
Listen to this guy.
No, they wouldn't.
How would you remote control drive
A kite,
by
yeah.
the way?
They fly off wind.
Yeah.
Well, if it's got like a little
Propeller. Do you think it was like the rubber band planes we used to have as kids? The guy sitting around, he's like, ready yet? No. Okay.
yes, sir, I got it.
His rubber band snaps. Oh, you did it too far.
We're going to get so much hate mail for that.
Yeah.
Just saying, any day.
Do you guys get hate mail still?
Oh yeah, that's what we just talked about. Yeah.
I mean, like on the regular, like a lot.
No.
We're much more
don't.
likable without you.
Yeah.
I figure.
No, stop it.
So we're getting negative reviews today.
No, we don't. No, not a lot.
Not since this episode, but we'll probably get a lot after this.
Just a few. We'll see what happens.
I don't think people are going to like Ted.
Okay, so there's nothing wrong with Ted. He's just he's very
Enthusiastic soldier.
enthusiastic. Yes.
Well, he's an O away from Todd. Just saying.
He's an O away from Todd. Okay, so there were several locations that claim
damn it.
they had a hand in the hoax. Okay.
Locals.
Okay. One man claims he rigged an old cop car with lights and sound equipment and drove around in the forest to essentially fuck with people.
That's a UFO, right?
Absolutely.
No evidence of this was ever proven, however. Another man that local people described as a character.
Uh-oh.
Quote,
Yeah, he's a character.
Uh-oh,
This guy.
yeah,
the
this
local
fucking
drunk,
guy.
basically.
He sounds like a hoot, by the way.
The local drunk.
He's a character. Claims that he was driving his truck around with a load of manure in the back.
Nice.
And what the men saw that night was, ready? Burning shit.
Yep.
That would be Isaiah, right?
Hey, watch this. You think they thought something? Watch this. What's that smell like? My butthole. Also, no evidence of this being true was ever found. Okay, so that was so basically someone said this and they were like, well, let's investigate, and they were like, nope, that doesn't work. As far as these two cases go, we would like to think that if you're approaching this case, that either way you believe, if you believe yes or no, real or fake, you would at least agree that these airmen would be able to tell if if it was a fucking car driving around or burning manure in the back of a truck, right?
What's that Crown Vic doing? I'm an alien.
That's not a British car. What is that? Speaking of knowing the difference between things, some skeptics like to blame this whole incident on a lighthouse.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
It's the
lighthouses
fucking lighthouse, bro.
Yeah.
what would a lighthouse be doing in the woods?
How did you? They're right on the. They're very near the coast.
Yeah, they're near
the
the
lighthouse
coast.
is only like a
Oh,
mile or two away,
yeah.
a
Right.
couple miles away.
But they were saying that the lights were like moving in different quadrants of the sky. and shit like that.
Just listen, okay? Can you listen,
Fucking
please?
skeptics.
So some of them were saying that the strange lights were actually the beacon from a lighthouse on the coast.
Correct.
Now, we concede that on the second night, some of those guys probably mistook the lighthouse beacon for something more if
Right.
it were a lighthouse.
Yes. If you listen to what they say in some of the recording, you can hear what they're talking about, and you'll see.
Yeah. In the halt recording, you can hear someone say that he sees a light, and then a short time later, it's gone. And a short time later, it's back. The intervals actually, they kind of link up with the revolving time of the lighthouse beacon.
Right.
So-
They said it's about 5 seconds, the rotation time.
Right.
And if you listen to the recording from when he says it's gone to it's back to it's gone, it's the exact same amount of time that the cycle would be.
So at that moment in time, yes, it's possible that those men saw the lighthouse beacon, but the lighthouse didn't account for the rest of the witnessed
I'll
phenomenon.
give them that one. I'll give them that one.
It does.
Yeah,
make
it's
sense.
possible. If it links up, that's
Sure.
fine.
So of the 6 lights they saw that night, one of them might have been the lighthouse.
Or like at least early on, like when
Yeah.
when the guy was like, "Oh, I think I see something" or whatever, and he's like, "It's there, it's gone, it's there."
And the
Like
earlier
that sounds
audio,
like it
yeah.
was he probably was seeing the lighthouse and
Right.
not realizing it.
Right.
I'm going to
'Cause
hold
the,
on to the Crown Vic theory.
Because the big thing,
Smart man.
I guess, like the big thing is like there's a big thing with the whole lighthouse theory, and the guy who actually runs the lighthouse keeper, I think, basically at one point was saying that like he's like, I've seen it from those woods, and he's like, you can tell that it's the lighthouse. Like you would be able, he knows what it looks like from, and they're saying that for the most part, there's no way that these guys could have mistaken that because they see it all the time and they know what that lighthouse looks like from that area.
Well, that's a good point, though. I mean, it is like if it's constantly there, these people they
Right,
know what
they
the
should know
lighthouse
what it
should
looks
be.
like, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's be honest here. Would you really trust the word of a lighthouse keeper? That's got to
Yeah.
be a weird fucker to do that for a living.
I don't know. I think I
Sorry
would
if
love
you're a
that.
lighthouse keeper, by the way.
I'd fucking I'm sure we got a lot of those listening.
I would love that.
We're gonna
to be
get it.
honest
We're
with
gonna
you.
get it. Like, actually, I'm a lighthouse keeper, and I love
Yeah,
it.
but you live by yourself.
I'd love it.
right?
Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
I'd love that shit
in that tower.
in a lighthouse.
You don't think
It's
you would
called
go
a
a little wacky after a while?
Oh yeah.
Dress up as somebody else.
You mean
I'm already there, bro.
you mean wacky
Yeah, I'm already there,
Yes.
man. I've got what it takes.
So as far as the lights in the sky that Halt said that they watched, the skeptics say nothing more but stars. That's all it
Yeah.
is. You guys just saw stars.
Yeah, really
That's it.
big ass bright stars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, that's
are
what.
9
but
foot
I,
by 9 foot by 9 foot.
Well, I guess no, not. They're talking about Halt the second day.
The second
when
day.
they saw when they were talking about
beam.
the stars, right? And they said that I guess supposedly, he was saying because he was saying this about 10 degrees off the horizon, blah 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 blah. Someone, I guess they're saying that the star Sirius lined up with one of the lights that they're trying. I don't know. They're claiming that it was Sirius.
Serious.
Why?
You want to know how I got these scars?
What are you
Yeah.
doing?
You moved.
You moved, yeah. You're off.
So?
No.
You're so animated. Why are
No
you
one
so
wants to see
animated?
me.
I do. I watch these videos constantly.
So the bright lights off in the distance are often blatant stars when talking to people looking to disprove the incident. But what are the beams of light coming from the stars?
Yeah. I
According to
know.
many, it was atmospheric distortion, causing
course
it
it
to
was.
merely look like a beam of light coming from a craft.
Solar flare.
It's
that-
always atmospheric
yeah,
distortion.
Always that
It's
fucking
gas.
parallax.
It's always gas.
Parallax.
It's
Yep.
the parallax.
Yeah, it's gas.
That's like the go-to skeptic answer. Oh, it's a parallax. Describe a parallax in less than a sentence. Do it. I dare you. I dare you. I
Isn't
fucking
it,
dare you.
Something that makes things look like other things.
Isn't that what you take when you have to poop?
Boom. Done.
Yes, that is.
Is it? Awesome.
Yes.
That does sound like a laxative.
Yeah.
Hey, Edith, give me the parallax. I got to take a
I
shit.
just need the parallax.
When
It'll
I
be
need to
all
go to the bathroom, and it's been a long day, I take parallax. So again, this is what people are coming up with or whatever. As far as the scientific basis of these arguments, we can't speak to that. While they sound good, we don't know. Could be plausible explanations for sure, but again, it feels like a high-ranking, long-serving airman would be able to tell the difference between a star and a strange light.
I
I
would
feel.
fucking
And especially,
hope so.
I mean, you hear the way they're talking about it moving and shit like that. Like,
right.
it's definitely coming towards us. Or the one saying like it was gone, like it was starting to move away from them. Like it's starting to move.
But they were also describing the pitch along the horizon as well too. Like at one point it was at 10 degrees above the horizon, then it was 15 degrees, and it was back down to 10 degrees. You know what I mean? Like it kept like alternating between.
It was going up and down, up and down. Stars don't go up and down; they only go one way, man.
Yeah, that's it. And they go back and forth.
So another explanation often offered for the lights seen that they saw the first night is the debris from a Russian satellite falling to Earth.
That's what they're saying.
This is confirmed to actually have taken place on the night Penniston and Burroughs had their experience.
Yes.
This could definitely explain lights in the sky, but how did they explain the craft they saw and the speed and maneuverability of what they reportedly saw?
It was impossible.
Right. Speed. Impossible.
I don't know why that's so fucking funny, dude.
Granted, that's if you believe the men. Also, that same night, there were some meteoric activity, which some people point to what the men actually saw in the sky. So if you're looking up, you see some,
it was basically like a meteor shower.
The men saw a meteor hover over the base for 4 hours with lights beaming down, and that makes sense.
And they created a perfect triangle.
And it created a perfect triangle when it hit the ground.
No, excuse me, those are rabbit tracks.
Yes, those were English rabbits.
Fucking idiots.
It's my new favorite band is a perfect triangle.
Their hit single rabbit tracks.
Yes, English rabbit tracks.
Radioactive English rabbit tracks.
Yes. So this activity was also confirmed. It was also confirmed to have been actually taking place.
Yeah, there was some sort of meteor shower going on.
So there was a bunch of shit happening in the lights or in the sky
allegedly.
now. Let's just talk about.
There's a lot of options.
No, they did. So it was proven, like that is a true thing, that the Russian satellite, there was like parts of a Russian satellite re-entering the atmosphere, and there was a meteor shower going on at that time.
All at the same fucking time.
And a lighthouse.
How convenient.
There's a lot of shit. I mean, I'm just saying, coming from a skeptic point of view.
Maybe the UFOs shot down the Russian satellite before they came to Rendlesham.
While riding the meteors.
And they were the meteors. Dude, they had that in Transformers.
Oh, yeah.
You're right. They did. And the alien robots hit the ground in the girl's pool. Like, dude.
Yeah, he's right.
Yep.
I would say that's another drink, so drink up, folks.
Yeah.
Because that's a movie reference. Just
Sure. Fuck it.
Cheers.
like we need a reason. So while these explanations all seem like possibilities, you gotta open that first, boss. While they all seem like possibilities to explain perhaps some of what was seen, they don't really explain everything. Again, my whole thing is the trees being broken and the triangle. Yeah, that's my crutch.
Giant
right now.
radioactive English rabbit tracks.
You're right. I'm sorry.
But if the satellite
sounds like that sounds like a shitty like new like post-hardcore band name.
All I'm saying is that's a perfect T-shirt as well too.
Yeah, but okay, so you were just saying, go ahead.
But if the satellite parts were falling, that would take the branches out.
That's true. Yeah, it could be snapping branches.
And that would make sense about the radioactive readings as well too. But it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, but I guess what they're saying is like as far as the radioactive like readings and shit go, like there was really nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah,
you almost
faulty equipment as well too.
You got to kind of throw the radioactive readings.
Take it out. Take that out of the equation.
That doesn't really
because it wasn't substantial enough for it to actually be anything.
Right.
So let's just take that out of the equation.
It's a terrible song too.
So one of the other things that I did see is that they were
oh, I love that song.
They were finding heat signatures like on the ground and like in the trees and stuff like that. Like the areas in certain areas, like the ground was like warm, like it was hot. So, which is another weird thing because it was the middle of goddamn.
But again,
fucking January.
Meteors or anything
but
entering
they didn't
Earth's.
that's the thing, though. They never said anything about finding like any kind of debris or whatever.
That's true.
Well, there was also a lot of information that was classified that they couldn't talk about. So maybe
but think about this though. Do you think if the U.S. found a bunch of Russian satellite shit, they weren't going to fucking say something about it during the Cold War?
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't because that would cause mass hysteria. Do you know how many Russian like spy
it would have given them
it
would have given the United States an excuse to do some shit.
Unless we are the ones that destroyed their satellite.
Correct. There's a lot of those.
Yeah, fine.
You know what I mean? Because at that point in time, it was pretty much fuck you and fuck you. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, I mean, I don't know.
Now
I feel like if that was
weaving theories,
but I feel
it's true.
At the same time, though, at the same time, though, if that was something that everybody knew about, like, don't you think like the British authorities would have been like, oh, maybe that was the parts of the fucking Russian satellite that we should go check that out.
Yeah.
Right?
But real quick on
because
what Logan was
technically
saying,
we don't have jurisdiction there because that's not our soil. That's outside of the base.
Right. Well, I see that.
You know what I mean?
But what you're saying also too that mass hysteria. We're talking the 80s.
Satanic panic.
Yeah, no, that's totally different. Which, by the way, I would totally want to cover that. By the way, but in the 80s, everyone knew that there were satellites everywhere. That every country had satellites and whatever. Yeah. So I mean, if one of them happened to fucking blow apart and come into our atmosphere, they're going to be like, oh, okay, whatever.
Satellite,
at that time. But if we had a hand in destroying their satellite, you know what I mean?
But at the same time, how at that point? I mean, did we have the technology to like fucking take down a satellite?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You ever play Call of Duty Cold War?
No, I haven't.
You mean lasers?
Yeah.
I mean, as
Sharks with freaking lasers.
with freaking lasers attached to their freaking heads.
Scotty.
The Alan Parsons Project.
Preparation H does feel good on the whole.
Drink up, fuckers. Okay, so then,
more than one.
There's like 5 there. So then there's the cover-up talk. Many of the witnesses have conflicting statements. The statements that they made that night of the first incident are different from the official statements the government has on file.
Yep.
As always.
Okay.
Always is.
Burroughs' original statement included a sketch of a craft that very closely resembled what Penniston also sketched and described, which is what we put up here earlier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Only problem is, in his official statement, he claimed to see no craft, only the ball of light. Edward Cabin Sag, what that fucking last name?
Cabin Sag. I feel like you gotta say like that fucking Cabin Sag.
You think that's how he says his last name?
It's probably more like
maybe.
He's like, hello, sir. My name's Edward Cabin Sag.
Maybe.
Well, he was there with the other gentleman that night.
Should.
He would later claim that his official statement wasn't actually his.
Yes, this is what I read.
He said that as he was waiting to give his statement, officials came to him with an already prepared statement that he was persuaded to sign.
Oh.
Well,
Persuaded to
and then
sign.
think about that. If you're trying to keep something, especially from the government, hidden or whatever, and they say, listen, we're going to fucking put you away, or you say this is what happened.
Yep.
I mean, it's not like it hasn't happened before.
No, well, I was just gonna say there was another incident incident that I was reading about, and
Incidences.
it was a Navy guy, and he was saying that they a bunch of guys they were on a ship out in the ocean, and they saw a fucking UFO fly out of the ocean and like hovered and then went back down, right? And they the commanders or whatever called him in for to debrief him, interview, whatever. And they're like, what did you see? And he's like, well, I saw this craft come out of the water and it went back in. And they're like, no, what did you see? And he's like,
what did you really see?
He's like, it was a UFO, whatever. And they're like, no.
What did you really see?
And he's like, they all looked at me again and was like, no, what did you see?
Yeah,
and he's like, I looked at him and I was like, nothing. And they were like, good.
So
You're right.
Yeah.
Can I derail this conversation for like 2 minutes?
Yes. Shocker. Go ahead. Not just you. I'm saying us in general. Yeah.
But anyway, so I used to work at Lorraine Correctional, right? I was a prison guard there. I was
and obviously for people who are not from around here, that is a prison around here.
It's a prison. So I used to work as a prison guard for a
You
while.
want a fucking cookie?
Maybe.
I mean, do you get a cookie for working at the prison?
I'd love one.
Dude,
Do we have cookies?
I would
love a cookie right now.
Jeff, go get a cookie.
Anyways, so
Okay. I'll be right back.
You gotta follow.
I'll be right back, sir.
So
Anyway, go ahead.
One day I was working the perimeter. So while you're working the perimeter, not to give out, semi-confidential
What kind of
information.
weaponry did you have, by the way, so we can really visualize
So
this?
I was driving a 2014 Jeep Patriot, all in white, and I was wearing
Are
a
you
Glock.
sure it wasn't the Geo Tracker?
But another fucking Jeep, though.
And I was using a Glock 17 in my right holster while also holding a Remington 870 as my shotguns in my truck as well too. I was
Very nice.
geared and fucking loaded.
Shaking my boots.
It was a cap gun.
It was a captain.
No, they had a little flag that said bang. Bang.
Rubber band gun.
Yeah.
Bang. But anyway, so I was working the perimeter. It was myself and 2 other people who were working the perimeter that night. Okay.
Yeah.
We were riding around in this perimeter, and I so happened to roll down the windows because I was getting a little warm. Okay. Wanted some wind on my
Turn
face.
the heater off.
It was in the middle of summer.
Well, there you go.
So, anyways, I just so happened to look up in the sky, and I saw this awesome streak of light come down. It was bright green. I was like, well, that's kind of cool. Meteor showers are out right now. That's kind of fucking awesome. Then all of a sudden, this green light, no shit, did a fucking loop-de-loop. And then I was like, that's fucking weird. And then it went right back in the exact same direction it came from. was like, that's fucking annoying. I have a fucking drone on my property, and I got to go do fucking paperwork. So I'm calling my other guys. I'm like, I was
Gotta
pissed.
do the goddamn
I had to do fucking
paperwork.
paperwork. It was a smooth night, and I was like, fuck, dude, 3 o'clock in the morning. I got to do fucking paperwork. So I call the other 2 perimeters. I'm like, hey, perimeter 1 to perimeter 2 and 3, reconvene on perimeter 1. So they all rush over to me. I'm like,
Ted, come in. Ted, do you read, Ted?
Yes, sir.
Did you see the drone, Ted?
I didn't.
so
Was it really?
So I asked these guys, I was like, did you guys see anything weird in the sky? And they were like, what do you mean by weird? I was like, so I saw this weird green
There's a
streak.
big tit flying through the
With
sky.
a
What do you
fucking
mean,
set of
dude?
tits.
What do you fucking mean, weird?
I was like, I saw this green streak of light come across the sky. They're like, that's incredibly weird because I saw one person said I saw a blue streak, and the other one was like, I saw an orange streak, and I was like, okay, that's fucking weird. So in the morning,
People are colorblind.
they can't be colorblind,
Yeah.
so maybe we all saw different colors. I mean, who knows? Maybe
Maybe it was just a fucking rainbow.
Maybe at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Why not?
Hey, fuck it, you never know.
Wait, it is Lorraine. Is it possible that a bunch of hillbillies were just letting off fireworks?
That was the meth labs blowing up. You're just seeing them.
But anyways, back into the original conversation.
Like bottle rockets.
So in other words, they came to you and told you.
They came to me and they were asking me. They were like, "So what did you see at 3:13 in the morning?" And I was like, "I saw a weird ass streak colored light in the sky that was doing loop-de-loops." And they were like, "Yeah. So did you hear a sound almost like a drone flying over?" And I was like, "Well, if I would have saw a drone, I would have called for a drone in the yard." They're like, "But did you see the drone in the yard?" And I was like,
Yes, sir.
"Yes, I did see that drone, and it was flying right over my head."
Yeah, you know
So-
why? Because paperwork.
Yeah, it's fucking extra paperwork. Dude, fuck the paperwork.
And that has to go on your record. And as a security guard,
Yeah, you
they
don't
don't
want
want
that.
weird shit on your record.
not for a state-ran program.
Yeah.
No.
So with this
Fuck
guy,
that.
freaking Kevin said.
Great story, by the way.
Kevin
Thanks,
said.
Oh, listen, I wanted you to hold that till later, but I mean that's awesome because I actually want us to go through that later with all the shit. No. It's no.
I was
it's totally
premature.
cool.
I know. That's
It happens. That's how you're here.
Hey,
Anyway,
Oh, wait, what? That's a fucking burn.
Was that a green loop-de-loop?
I'm kidding. I love you. I love you.
That's great.
And if you're new here, Logan is my son. That's why I can say shit like that.
Hi.
Anyway,
Look, just because he was an accident doesn't mean you don't love him.
so anyway, going back to the cabin sack here, he honestly claims that he never even read the statement.
Nope, that's
So
what he said.
it wasn't even like a hey, here's what you're going to do. They were like, we have your statement. Don't worry about it.
Because they know what's going to happen.
Just sign this shit.
They know what all the shit they're going to have to jump
Oh, yeah,
through.
yeah.
Right.
If
Right.
that's
Yeah.
on record. And
Yeah.
So then there are the missing reports and paperwork the next morning when Halt had arrived. Why did they take them so quickly and mark them as secret without him being informed, as he was usually a part of that sort of thing on the base? I mean, he's a colonel.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
this guy should.
He's
you
a
know,
colonel, man.
He's a colonel.
the colonel.
the colonel.
I say you, he did.
Oh, fucks. I swear.
Is it not amazing that I can just say a word and it just it ignites them?
Yes, it
Say
does.
you, he did.
Say you, he did.
Oh my God.
And this is why we
It's
missed
so
Jeff.
nice to have you back at the table, man.
It is so
nice.
nice.
It
It's
really
fun.
is.
It is
It's so
nice.
nice.
It's fun.
So, you know what? Again, he's kind of a badass there. Were they trying to hide something, or as some would say, prevent embarrassment, which is possible. Another odd thing is that the Penniston and Burroughs have been fighting to get health records released for years.
They've had, apparently they both suffered, according to them anyways, they both suffered like massive PTSD after this,
Makes sense.
and like some other like weird health issues.
And so
And
they
their
wouldn't-
health records through the
were
Air
sealed.
Force are apparently not. They won't release them to them.
So we have a picture of one request sent to then President Barack Obama, asking for the records to please be turned over
It's the
to the
one that's
men.
got a bunch of signatures on the bottom of it.
Yeah, and Logan's going to pull it up here. So if you're on YouTube, we're going to see that
America,
America.
make no mistake.
You got that over there?
Oh.
I sent it to you. You should have it. It was in the same one
Boy.
as the Halt memo.
Pro
It was in the
shit.
same group of pictures as the Halt memo.
Way to go, Moody. Way to go.
I did my fucking job. Don't blame me for this one.
So why will they not let these men have these medical records? We could go into some of these things in much more detail, but for now, we just want to get these things in here without making a 4-hour episode. Obviously, and this could be like a several episode series.
Which it should be.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much involved.
Chapters.
Chapter there's just,
1.
there's just so much to it, especially when you're talking about guys who, at one point in time, and I don't know if Moody has this in here or not. I don't know if he's looking it up right now. Do you have where the part where they actually claimed at one point in time that they saw the other generals coming out of the woods?
That's the Barack Obama one.
You find it?
Yeah.
All right, so Logan's posting it up right now.
No, I didn't see that.
You didn't see that? So
Put that in.
I was doing a bunch of research this past week, and at one point in time, these guys, and I'm not sure which ones it is, and I really, anyway,
Probably Ted.
They believed that while they were out there, and it could have been the colonel here because it sounded to me like that was the second time when they actually went out there, that they saw another higher ranking official coming out of the woods at this exact same time. And then when they went to him and he went back away.
I do know what you're talking about.
And then
And
then when he went away, or the next day, or whenever they made the report or whatever, the guy's like,
the guy was like,
I was not out there. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Do you think this could have been a test on their part?
It could have been
like a mental test.
That's actually a theory. That's one of the skeptic theories, is that there was basically saying that it was like one of those situations where the United States basically tested drugs on their own people.
Yeah.
And they basically were giving them hallucinogens and fucking with them to see how they would react.
The first occurrence either.
But
the
I was gonna say,
they've done that already. Why would they do that again?
But I mean, the detractors say, why the fuck would you drug a bunch of people that are in charge of nukes?
Because they sign their life away to the fucking government and they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Why would you drug a bunch of people that are in charge of nukes during the Cold War?
Was going back to the embarrassment portion of that as well too. It could have been like an actual cover up for that, because hey, they might have had the fucking nuclear football there. You know what I mean? Like they were like, oh shit, this dude's walking around with the fucking briefcase in his hand. Like we don't want them to know.
No, yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean?
It could be
like that feels like more of like a more solid concrete theory than
I don't know. There's so many different random theories about this.
Maybe
And, one of them was the drugs though. Seeing how they're seeing how they react in situations like that and stuff like that.
Let's be honest real quick. What was the first thing that Jeff said? And we said this earlier when we first listened to it. When you listen to the recording from the colonel here, what did it sound like?
Like they were wasted.
It sounded like they were fucked up, right? Yeah. So, I mean,
think about it this way. When you're in a traumatic experience like that and you don't know what the fuck is going on, you're not going to talk that quickly. Like how that guy's talking, he's literally breathing and continuing sentence in between breaths.
But he's also a trained military guy.
And but you're going to be taking it in. Yeah. You're going to be sporadic. You're going to be like, oh, wow. Okay, because you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to process it as it's happening. This guy's just like, and there's a light, and there's that, and there's a breeze, and then there's a beam, and there's a trees, and 10 o'clock.
I guess you never really know.
You really don't know how you're going to.
And I guess everyone's kind of different too. Because I don't know. For me,
also, if you listen to that though, that shit is edited because he's like it's 3:10, blah 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 blah, and then literally it's 3:15, and then 2 seconds later it's 3:30, and then
even his phrasing though, the phrasing of his speech.
Well, he's a military guy. That's how he talks.
Like a robot.
Well, they're trained. They're trained in like I was trained.
They're trained to keep a fucking chill head, dude. But they're supposed to act.
What I was saying is that they're you got to take the human factor out of things because everybody acts differently. It doesn't matter if you got
that's true.
Two colonels in the same freaking room, both of those guys are going to act totally
You don't know
different.
how you're going to act in that certain situation.
And they're going to high five, cock the gun, and be like, pop, 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 pop.
No, one thing.
Y'all smell popcorn.
Nobody knows that.
I know.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So if what I'm saying though is that I guess nobody knows how we would react in that situation versus how a trained colonel would react.
A trained operative
could be totally different than what a trained colonel from, I don't know, Texas would react. You know what I mean? Like you got to take that human element out.
But like something that great of fear, right?
But were they afraid though?
Think of the fear. The emotion needs to be processed instantaneously.
I guess
a car crash. Somebody drops a baby. I know somebody drops a baby, or you know what I mean. Like your heart's that feeling of your heart stopping, and an impact for crash. Everything with great fear is a pause because you can't process it. It's a shock value, right?
But in rebuttal to that is that in a car crash, in a baby falling, or whatever, you know what's happening right at that point in time.
But these guys didn't,
and it could suck. At this point in time with these guys, they have no clue. As far as they know, they're walking out there to just go, okay, let's go see what this is. And listen, in the back of his head, he might be thinking this is utter bullshit and maybe not a believer.
Fucking paperwork.
Yeah, maybe not a believer whatsoever. And he's walking out there and then all of a sudden you start seeing this shit. And yes, the first time I heard it, You would think there'd be a little bit more emphasis in his voice and stuff like that, a little more like truncation and
But if you go back and listen to it though, you hear a difference in his voice when the lights are just hovering versus when, oh my god, these guys are like, these lights are looking like coming towards us. We need to go back to base.
Yeah, it's true.
Like he had a little bit more urgency in his voice.
It still sounds to me like they were high. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean,
that's what it sounds like
but
to me.
everyone in that time
no, they
period
weren't
sounded
high.
like that,
I mean,
though.
it was the 80s. They were doing lewds, man. They were just like,
There's 14 colors. Dude, you're looking in the mirror. So as the years went by, both men have stood by their stories. Some say that Penniston's story. Stop, son, Sim, son.
oh, nice.
Some say the Penniston story had become inconsistent throughout the years. And while some things may be a little different from here to there, the bulk is consistent according to most. A couple of things about Penniston. Penniston usually refers to what he allegedly encountered as being a, quote, craft of unknown origin, but has specifically and repeatedly denied that it was extraterrestrial. Okay.
China, number one.
Kind of like our FBI with these recent findings.
Yeah. So where was it from then?
John's going to like this one.
After
Australia.
undergoing regression hypnosis in September 1994, he seems to have become convinced that it was a craft from tens of thousands of years in the Earth's future.
Yes. High fives.
According
this is going.
According to what Penniston told the hypnotist, it contained our distant descendants returning to obtain genetic material to keep their ailing species alive. Quote, they are time travelers. They are us, he said. Yep, that's my favorite theory. If there was a theory, that's
But wait,
truthfully.
wait. Why would you need genetic? You have the genetics in your dick, dude. Just use that.
No.
Yeah, but if they were us from tens of thousands of years in the future, man,
And
our
shit got fucked
DNA
up.
is probably gone by
But
now.
why the fuck do they want us? If
It's
there's tens of
perfect.
thousands in the years in the future, why would they want us?
I'm going to answer your question right now. Why did old Biff go back to give the sports almanac to young Biff?
That doesn't work here.
Drink up! Yay! That was a good one. That was a good one.
Hoverboards don't work over water.
But Logan, you probably I don't know if we've ever talked about that. We'll talk about it later. Just remind me to tell you my theory. And we're going to talk about this whole thing at the very end here.
Let us.
So another thing
We
is
are.
his binary code. He had filled many pages in his notebook with binary code
And I may or may not have that picture.
that he claimed
there's a picture of a couple of the pages in there.
Oh, I have it.
he claimed was being sent to him
There it is.
telepathically.
Ooh.
Penniston claims to know nothing about binary code. This is the 80s, and I could see that being something that you don't really know a whole lot about, you know. And from what we've read, they were supposedly able to date the pages and writings to the right time frame, as people claimed that he wrote this much later in his notebook as a hoax to further his story.
Now, quick question before we go any further. Have we transcribed this Morse code?
Oh, it's coming, buddy.
Oh yes.
It's not Morse code either. It's binary.
Binary.
Oh, binary, my bad. Yeah.
So the crazy thing is, when he finally had the binary decoded, it did reveal a message. It is supposedly as follows.
oh, shit.
You don't have to read like all the numbers if you know.
The first one, exploration of humanity.
Yep.
Okay, which would be the numbers, and I'm not going to read all that.
It's coordinates. Yeah.
Yeah. The second one, continuous for planetary advance.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth coordinate, continuous. Before.
And then there's some spots where like the numbers get fucked up and they it's like a weird they call it, like they say that it's lost in translation, like we're not sure what it said.
Right. I see that in here. And
That's
it
where the
says
stops are or whatever.
origin, which is coordinates again. It says eyes of your eyes. And then there's more coordinates here.
Yep.
And then it says origin year 8100.
So here, just to get a little deeper on this, and Moody can back me up on this. There's evolutionists out there that will describe this as they came back and they advanced. They sped up our evolution.
Yeah.
If you look at like mammals and
look at our
dinosaurs
time
and animals,
frames and our jumps
and
in
you look at their evolution span, it's
Millions
like
and millions
millions
of
of years
years.
where ours is not that much.
No.
So they think that the aliens came to advance our civilization
to help us, basically.
Correct.
Okay, now were
That's-
these supposed advance, the aliens coming to advance us, were those the aliens of us from the future, or are these aliens from a different race?
Either or.
Either
Yeah.
or. I mean,
Yeah, but
Depends on what you believe.
yeah, but I mean, you can't really say either or, because one actually has a helping hand in what we're doing, and the other one has absolutely no reason
but
for
they,
doing it.
they could
might-
both
they
be
might
helping
have,
hands.
They might have a
Right.
reason.
It could have been another
We don't
species.
know.
There's
from-
another theory behind that.
Okay.
Because
They
it's
interbred?
it's in times. So like all aliens are basically us from the future,
Right.
but in different times. So like the grays, the skinny grays,
Yeah.
the little aliens are us from like I don't know,
And
50,000 years
I
away.
said that
And then
theory when we
the
first talked.
taller green ones are us from a million. Like it's all evolution,
Right.
and you get all the
That's
difference.
what. And remember who I told you told me that.
Who?
Let's just say he was a former drummer who was fucking lost out of his mind.
I know.
And is technically a schizophrenic.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Okay.
He's the one that told me that when we
Yeah.
were in a freaking tour bus one day, and I'm like, "Whoa!"
That's the one I know.
Yeah.
Right?
No, you don't.
okay.
No,
Okay.
you don't know him.
I know who you're
Okay.
talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I don't want to drop his name.
You know
or
what,
anything.
though?
Yeah.
is he schizophrenic or is he gifted?
Who knows? And
Maybe he sees in multiple universes.
one in hand. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
who knows?
who knows?
So let's talk about these coordinates real quick. What were these? All right. They were as follows: Caracol, Belize, which I hear is beautiful. Belize, I hear is amazing.
It's unbelievable.
Shut up.
that was so bad. Get out of here.
I got that from Bob's Burgers.
That's like the little kid.
I know.
It's like they give the little kid at Fridays the microphone because it's his birthday. He's like, it's unbelievable, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's so cute."
Oh, it's so cute. Now it's coming from a guy with a beard.
So
No,
now
it's fine.
the next one is Sedona, Arizona. The Great Pyramid in Giza, Egypt.
What the fuck's in Arizona?
Nazca Lines in Peru. Taishan Q in China.
Yep.
Yep.
Portera at Temple of Apollo in Naxos, Greece. And High, Brazil.
Okay. That's the weird one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Read
Arizona.
on. Read on.
Brazil,
Hi,
also
Brazil.
known as High Brazil or several other variants, is a phantom island said to lie in the Atlantic Ocean west of Ireland. Irish myths described it as cloaked in mist, except for one day every 7 years when it becomes visible, but still cannot be reached. So what does it all mean? Well, if you're up on your ancient aliens theory, these sites hold some water. If you're not a believer, then it doesn't matter that much, but still very compelling. The origin year, 8100. Did that mean that this craft was from the future? Okay. To this day, there is no shortage of people constantly calling Penniston a liar and trying to poke holes in his theories and pointing out any type of inconsistency they can, of course. That is all to be expected. You can dig deep into this incident and find support for whatever side you believe in. We wanted to present the facts that we knew of right
that
off the rip, like the
from
big ones,
guys,
right?
yeah.
As told by the men who actually lived it, whether they were lying, saw something, and extrapolated, things from there, or truly had an extraterrestrial experience, isn't ours to say. Okay, we don't know. We weren't there. We have no fucking idea. We're just going off of what
I
they
fucking wish I was
said.
there, dude.
I know, right?
None of us were there. But given the amount of people that actually witnessed something that night, and who and who some of these people were out,
Dude, I told you it's always corrected to sense.
they were measured. Basically, it's a very, very, very compelling tale.
And
now,
if you look
on the side of this too, so I listened to a bunch of podcasts this
Okay.
entire week
All right, what you got, man?
for this particular story.
Okay.
Nice.
And first of all,
I like it. Yeah, that's good.
nobody does it like we do. You're welcome. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we just do what we do and we talk like we would if we're hanging out with dudes at a bar.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Can you imagine this conversation in a bar? Holy shit.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be getting
People-
heated.
Oh, that'd be great, dude.
Yeah.
People back in the back. Yeah.
Wait, dude. Hey,
listen.
Stop it. Hold on.
Wait. But listen, though, we're not wearing
Jeff,
masks
Jeff,
anymore.
Jeff.
Wait,
Jeff.
your face, though.
What?
Listen. What was I gonna say?
So anyway, so I was listening to this whole thing, and they come very matter of fact about things and whatnot, and and there was a bunch of them that I listened to, and one they pointed out the whole the rabbit holes possibly in.
Yeah. There's pictures of the supposed landing site. I have them in there.
You
They
mean
were the first ones you.
Supposedly.
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 Allegedly.
Supposedly, there was a
Allegedly.
landing site, but I guess it was rabbit
All right. So before we.
So what else? What else did you hear anything else from these podcasts that we
Right.
didn't touch on?
No, so the main thing that I heard was that they saw a higher up
Mhm.
coming out of the thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they went back in.
I did hear that story. I read that somewhere, but I literally only read that in one spot. So it was kind of like one of those okay, that's the only time I saw that. I'm gonna.
And typically
I mean?
that's how you should do it too.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm just listening to like these things or whatever. And
No,
then
absolutely.
The other one
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
rabbit holes with the radioactivity.
Yep.
And so okay. In saying that, Moody,
Yeah,
first,
yeah.
you, where do you stand on this?
I want really, really badly for this whole thing to be true.
Okay.
I think that something went down. What exactly went down, I don't know. I believe there was something there. Whether it was extraterrestrial, I would love for that to be true. It may have been. I mean, you're right between two Air Force bases. It was during the Cold War. It could have been something weird and random that nobody knew about.
Right.
It totally could have. And one of the points that was brought up was that with the whole Russian satellite thing, they were saying that it could have been something like that. And in the stuff that he wrote down and the quote unquote like similar to hieroglyphics could have been the Cyrillian writing of Russia, and he just didn't realize what it was. But I don't know, man. Like, I feel like that to have something that was for like Russia to have something that was that advanced to do the things that he said it did would be, you know, just crazy for that time period. Like, you know what I mean? But who's to say? I definitely believe that something fucking crazy went down that night. And I think that he believes what he saw, regardless of what we think it was. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of what it really was, he believes that what he saw was an alien, like some sort of extraterrestrial craft, whether it's from the future or from whatever.
Or just unidentified.
And,
He couldn't put his finger on what it was.
Right. And I think that, so when you get to the whole binary thing, there's people that say that his notebook is a hoax, like the whole fucking thing is a hoax because it wasn't brought up like initially, like right away. And so people are just claiming that it was a hoax. Like he wrote all this shit down later. He sketched all this shit later and then brought it out to try to keep things going. And I guess I had read somewhere, it was in that book that they said that they were able to date, like essentially carbon date the notebook and the writings to the correct time period. Like they were like, yeah, this was not written recently. This was written in that time frame that would fall in line with what he's saying. So there's people that, you know, claim that the whole notebook was a fake. I don't think it was a fake. I think that something happened. Whether he did know binary or whatever and kind of worked it up himself, I don't know, because he could have done that same night or the night after if he didn't present the notebook right away.
Right.
Who knows? I just think that the sheer amount of people that saw something or claim they saw something or whatever the case is, and these guys are not fucking dudes out living in the hills that are like, dude, we saw something. Sure, I had some moonshine, but we saw something. You know what I mean? Like, these are fucking career. Like, I don't know if it was Penniston or Burroughs. One of those guys was in the Air Force, ended up being in the Air Force for like 25 years. Like, these guys are fucking career guys in the Air Force, and going on record and saying shit like this could ruin their fucking careers.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this is a big fucking thing for someone like that to come out and say something.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about fucking colonels and like master sergeants and fucking base commanders and shit like that. Like,
Base
and
commander.
And they're saying that they saw shit.
Base.
What it was, who knows? But something fucking happened.
Right.
Okay. Jeff?
I think it was a government experiment. And I'll tell you why. Is back in the 80s, so we're 20 years after the fact of Roswell, right? So we've had quite a bit.
40.
40?
40 almost.
Okay.
Almost 40.
It was like post World War II. It was like 46.
So we've had a significant amount of time
7.
to toy and mess with, like, you know, the whole Bob Lazar thing and all that shit. Think about this. If you're messing with like propulsion and nuclear energy, right? And you're trying to develop a craft, you're a government agency or whatever, and you're developing this craft and experimenting with these different things with propulsion and whatnot, where would you store the nuclear energy or the power, right? In a facility that has nuclear weapons. Because that facility is made to house nuclear weapons for safety precautions, right? For storage reasons, hazardous, you know, all that stuff.
So are you saying that,
I think
they were testing something on that site?
Like some
I think
sort of
they
nuclear
developed-
propulsion or something?
They developed the craft, the government did, and they were testing it, probably test flying it. So what these guys saw and what they witnessed was real, but it wasn't aliens. It was the government experimenting with crafts and ships and whatnot.
Okay. Logan?
So, I mean, I definitely pretty partial to Jeff's theory on that. At the same time, though, I feel like there's a lot more to it that we are not trying to say more of because either A, we fucked up, or B, it's Like they're trying to pin it on something else when it really was this thing. Same thing with the U-2 spy planes, or even like the B-2 bomber when we launched that. Like that was a huge ass fucking UFO sighting because it was the 3 dots in the sky and all that. You know what I mean? Like that was a huge ass thing. That kind of sounds like the incident that happened in.
So you think it's something military as well?
Well, yeah, because at the exact same time as well too, we were working on intercontinental ballistic missiles as well too. We didn't have the right equipment at that time to be able to create a missile that could go from the U.S. to Russia if something like that were to pop off. We had to do like the whole Bay of Pigs shit, like the Cuba, where they had to move all their ballistic missiles to us. You know what I mean? Like it could have been a preparation for that. But the way that they described
the timing works for that. Something like that.
The timing does work for it, but at the same time, the way that they described how a lot of the shit like was working.
Wait, Bay of Pigs was in the 60s.
60s, yeah.
I know. Yeah, I know.
But it's that time period.
Same kind of thing, though.
Yeah.
But with the way that the so-called unidentified equipment was operating, more correlates to things that we have not touched base on. Like you're talking about vertical takeoff and landing. You know what I mean? Like that was VTOLs. That was late 80s, early 90s that we were doing the fucking the airplane that does that.
Harrier.
The Harrier. Thank you. Like that's the time the Harrier came out was like 89. You know what I mean? Like that kind of makes sense now.
Yeah, but the Harrier's bigger than 9 feet by 9 feet.
Correct. It is bigger than 9 feet by 9 feet, and it's fucking loud as shit. I've heard one take off. Like you can hear that almost a quarter mile away.
And they said that everything was silent.
Right. Like everything was silent. Okay. So like there's things that just don't line up. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So I'm gonna go and say that just to get this out of the way real quick, if it's super freaking loud, and then all of a sudden you don't hear anything, maybe it just fucked his ears up. Maybe he fucking like it was deafening.
Frequency.
Yeah, but you would hear.
Well,
like
he said,
you would hear something.
You would hear vibrations or something.
You would hear something. Like he would have been at that point. He would have been like, there was a loud for just an instant. I heard like a really loud whoosh, and then everything went silent.
Like it was muffled almost.
Yeah, but didn't Bob Lazar say that the frequency was almost like a dog whistle? Like it emitted such a frequency that the human ears couldn't really decipher it.
Yeah, I mean,
well, that's if you're looking at extraterrestrial. If you're looking at like something from the government or whatever, which
I think that's what Jeff is saying though, that they got that technology and rebuilt it and were testing it.
So no, I'm not even going to touch on that just because you know how I feel about that. But I
don't think it's real.
But I believe
another skeptic.
I love you.
The possibility of them creating smaller crafts to work on the propulsion systems. Why is that not something that could be possible? You know what I mean? Especially over there. Again,
you're right.
Basically using everybody here that you guys have said so far, like it's a nuclear place. What if it's nuclear powered?
Right.
But that would require a machine that's like super freaking big to be able to do that. Like you understand, like a nuclear factory requires.
Well, the problem is though, is that we don't know how tall this thing was.
Okay.
9 feet tall.
Okay.
It was 9 feet by 9 feet tall.
Okay, so 9 feet by 9 feet tall. So it's a triangle that's 9 feet. And did the top go straight up, or was it a?
It was kind of. There's a picture of it. Basically, it was like a triangle and it kind of sloped up, and there was like a big light beacon on top. Basically.
Okay, but you can use nuclear power at smaller variables.
We didn't have the capability.
I mean, look at a submarine.
I don't think.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right, but a submarine is gigantic.
Yeah, submarines.
You ever seen a nuclear
They
power?
also have small submarines, though.
They're not nuclear powered.
They're not nuclear. They're diesel.
Are they diesel?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, they still use diesel
I
submarines.
learned something new today.
Like Vin Diesel?
No,
like Kevin Nash when he was Diesel.
Like down Periscope Diesel.
Big Daddy.
Love that movie, dude.
Fucking love that movie.
What movie?
Down Periscope.
That was
the Stingray.
What's his name?
Oh man,
he's in all the M. Sandler movies.
Yes,
Rob
Schneider.
Yeah, Rob Schneider was
the first mate or something.
Yeah, he was the first mate or whatever.
I don't know. To me, honestly, it sounds like I guess I'm kind of leaning because my biggest thing is the fact that they actually saw like this perfect triangle with where it looks like something sat down.
Okay.
Well, let me ask this: can we all agree that the military, they saw something?
Yes. Whether it was
aliens or the government or what, but we believe their story that they saw something.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. I'm in full agreement that they saw something.
Right.
Yeah. Especially not only did you got 2 people that saw something, and then you got an entire town of people that saw something.
So that's the
they
thing.
don't know what it was.
But even
originally you don't hear a lot about that, right? But I guess later on more people would come out and say like, yeah, we saw something weird that night. Like, I don't know what happened, but We saw some lights. We saw something like people would come out later on. And actually, I think in 2015-ish, I'd have to look it up. There was another UFO incident around Rendlesham Forest. I didn't really get that far into it, but I think there's a video and shit like that you can find. So,
I think I've heard of. I believe I've heard of
there
that.
was another. I think it was 2015-ish that there was another supposed incident, like a UFO incident. So
regardless of what may or may not have happened there, and this is why we do these, because we don't know. It's
a fun discussion, man.
It's a mystery and it's a fun discussion because was it UFOs?
And,
to me, it doesn't sound like it was.
Okay.
It sounds to me that it was. even the one guy said that he.
So you're leaning towards like experimental craft type thing.
It could. That's to me what it is. And we've heard this before when we talked. Again, I referenced it earlier with the Battle of Los Angeles or whatever. Like, there's always. The government is always, and as they should, they're always building and creating things that they don't want the world to know about.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if their enemies find out, if the enemies find out about it, then it's screwed. And what the fuck's the point? So let's keep it top secret. And you're on a base, and maybe they just happen to walk and see something that they weren't supposed to fucking see.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
No, and I like how I feel about aliens and shit. I'm 100% on board, but. I am definitely open to the fact that this could have been, given the time period, where it occurred in between two military bases. Like, I am fully on board that it could be something military or could have been something maybe like Russian or Chinese, like something like that. Like it could have been.
The only thing that leads me to believe that if it is government or whatever, that it's not our government or I guess our government at the time, because we were on an English base,
correct?
Right.
Yeah.
But we had U.S.
Basically, it was like an RAF, which is the Royal Air Force. It was like their base, but we had control of it at the time.
Okay,
Right.
So if two guys came back and said, "Hey, we saw this," why in the fuck would they come back and try it again just a day or two later? Or whenever the colonel went out there,
right?
Like you would think they were like, "Oh shit, they saw us."
And
okay,
that's the other
hide
thing.
this. You know what I mean? Like, let's get rid of this.
Because no one would believe him at the time, though. Think about it. Think about the time. Everybody would be like, "Yeah, right."
Yeah, but it still doesn't make sense to me that even if someone got a whiff of what you were doing, as
why
a government
would you
secret, why in the fuck would you go back out and do it again?
Expose yourself again?
I wouldn't. We would never do that.
And then the other thing to me that I thought was kind of strange, like if we're going with the government thing, it makes sense government-wise if it was some sort of like governmental thing, is that they didn't inform like the British, like the Ministry of Defense or the RAF or anything. Like they called the fucking local cops.
That blows my mind.
I think that is really weird that they would do that.
Right. Like, what are you going to do with a couple of bobbies walking over?
They don't give a fuck.
Stick?
What are they going to do?
No, they're not going to do anything.
You know what I mean?
And that furthers my point, because there's documented evidence of our government and other governments as well, too, saying that they were prolonging their failed incident where they were having their own whatever, you know what I mean, spacecraft or aircraft they were creating or whatever, and playing it off as UFOs and aliens to distract the common folk from wanting to
what's really going on.
Because at that time, you have to understand, like, we were so scared, like we were going around and like persecuting our own people because they were Reds at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but think logically.
Disbelief.
Think logically. How would you do damage control in a situation like that? Let's say you're the government, right? And you know about these you're part of the experiment, whatever. How would you do damage control when it got out like that? What would be the first logical
make people
thing?
look stupid?
Yeah. Play it off as more
Question
of a UFO sighting.
their credibility.
I sure as fuck wouldn't be putting the damn thing back out there a couple days later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't be doing that if I was the government trying to downplay it and say whatever. I guess that's my point.
But that's also going on the fact that that you're taking these guys at their word that they were seeing crafts or something flying in the sky.
The second one could have been
and
lighthouse
and not stars or lighthouses or whatever.
satellite.
You know what I mean?
But the second one was the one we actually heard him talking, where he said he saw. First of all, when have you ever seen a lighthouse with an orange light?
Or red. They said red.
Or red,
yeah,
whatever it was.
Yellowish.
That's the thing that got me is like they were claiming that it was a reddish light. Like a lighthouse is not a reddish
and then it
light.
kept having
man.
a black like dot in the middle of it. That
Now listen,
was
I don't know
visible.
anything about lighthouses. They may have one on the backside that's kind of red, so you can see it at night. I don't know.
That's the keeper fucking around. He's like, hey, and he's unscrewing the light bulb and putting the other one in.
Like the kaleidoscope thing or whatever.
Now you see me, now you don't. Now you see me, now you don't.
So truthfully, I don't know, man. I think it's an amazing story. I think that truthfully, it's going to be one of those ones that we're probably never, ever, ever going to find out about.
Yeah.
In saying that,
I think the wild card in this real quick also
Yeah.
is that binary shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Granted, like I said, that could be something that he added later and knew about.
Yeah, if he would have done
at the same
that-
time, they did, like I said, according to the few sources that I've seen, they did date the notebook and the writing back to that same time. So he would have had to have done it right around that same time. And unless he had a really good knowledge of binary or knew someone that did, which is possible, he was in the fucking Air Force.
Right. And they were all in a course like that.
And the whole, so like the whole thing with that High Brazil, which I'd love to do either a bonus or an episode on High Brazil, that is essentially like another like Atlantis. It was actually on maps
Yep.
up until like the 1500s.
And then just disappeared.
And then it just stopped being on maps.
So going back to real quick before we go into more off topic, going back to what you were talking about, how they dated that. I want to know exactly how they dated that.
I think they did carbon dating.
You can't. So
Which is I know that's a like a controversial thing.
Well, yeah, but carbon dating is so generic. This is coming from someone who loves dinosaurs and paleontology and all that shit.
Yeah, I mean,
carbon
I
dating,
know.
it uses the half-life of carbon, the atom itself,
To figure out how-
to figure
yeah, no, I
out
know.
a generic within 100,000 years. Though there's not.
So that's the thing is though with the carbon dating, once they get to a certain like it's actually fairly accurate in short time
instances?
periods. When you get farther back, that's when that whole
It gets,
that's when
like,
it starts to stretch.
crazy. Okay.
They basically they acknowledge now that it's worthless past a certain amount of time. Like it can't, you know.
all right.
Makes
So,
sense.
so listen, since we're talking about possible alien sightings,
Yeah.
first let's talk about, just to get it out there, the Pentagon recently said that they believe that they
They're releasing
actually
all kinds of shit, man.
have UFOs. They haven't declared anything.
They have found unidentified flying objects
Correct.
that they could not.
They're not calling them UFOs anymore either.
What do they call?
It's UA
Bills.
Yeah, you're right. It's
It's
something
an
else.
UAVs?
unidentified aerial vehicle,
Yeah, UAVs or something like that. Yeah.
which what an actual UAV is an unmanned.
They just don't
aerial
know.
vehicle.
They just don't know what it
It's
is.
unidentified in this
Yeah.
case.
It could
Okay.
be anything. It's like if it's a plane.
And
that we don't know
so what
about
are we
or whatever.
thinking
I think
about
they're saying
this?
it's UOV. I'm sorry.
What
I
have
think
we
it's-
read? What have we talked about here? I mean, this is
it's
kind of why we were
UV
super excited about this episode,
There's a
because
bunch
I
of
wanted to
different
talk about this.
Yeah.
So, have we seen anything? Have they released anything that sounds like?
Well, so they released those videos. That Tic Tac video was one of the big ones that they released.
Did you say
and then
Tic Tac?
They called it like a Tic Tac because
Okay.
it's like the shape of a Tic Tac.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's that
That's the black
traditional,
and
like-
white grainy one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the thing.
As
that
they
people,
all are for
That's
some
the one
reason.
that you got all bent out of shape about the parallax thing. and
Dude,
all
because
that,
they
like-
called it a fucking goose flying.
Yeah.
Like
And
first
they're
of all,
using the fact that they're like, oh well, compared against the horizon, it's going to look like it's not
gonna
going to look like
fucking
it's
goose.
It's not going to look like it's going faster than a goddamn jet plane.
Correct.
Like-
And even if your parallax was in the correct articulated way of the moon,
Oh, that
facing
parallax.
the sun, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't make any fucking sense. How a
Edith, I
goose
haven't
is gonna-
shit in 3 days. Give me the parallax.
Shit impossible.
This shit impossible.
That's
a great movie idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but so they've released some footage and some things like that. Like honestly, I don't know, man. I don't trust it personally. If the Pentagon's like, "Yep, here's the UFOs that we found," it's like, really?
But like, why all
know
of a
what,
sudden
though?
are they dropping that after so many years? Like,
Yeah.
I understand, like after so many years, the FBI can release.
yeah, like,
declassified
things
information.
become declassified.
Because they're
and-
baby stepping us into it.
I think that's what it is. I think they're trying to see how people react.
Yep.
They're releasing
Dude,
little things
like the
here and there
Travis
to
Walton
see.
thing. Like I really want to talk about that in a little bit. It gets a little winded, but like the whole Travis Walton thing changed my whole outlook on all of this stuff.
Well, no, go ahead, talk about it.
So Travis Walton, we did an episode
Fire in the sky.
on it.
Yeah.
And he was on another podcast that I heard, and it was really hard to get through because he's very old now. I think he's what, 75 or
He's
6.
he's got to be in the 70s.
So it was very difficult. It was 2 hours long.
because that was what 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's, he just
And if you guys aren't familiar
You know,
with
it's
Travis
just like,
Walton,
come on.
Travis Walton, there was a movie called Fire in the Sky where they were out. They were a bunch of lumberjacks or
Yeah.
whatever, and he got taken away, and then he got brought back, and he had a bunch of shit all over him, and
Well,
he had a
Yeah, it was a
It
big,
was fucked up.
It was weird.
And on our
Yeah.
episode, we discovered that the whole Hollywood movie was
The
just
movie was
completely
super,
not what happened.
super
So
embellished.
that really depressed me. Remember, I said that because it was one of my favorite movies. But then, so I listened to this episode, and he actually reveals the whole story, right? And it's mind blowing. The
gonna have to
details
check
and
that out.
stuff
I
that
haven't
that
listened to
we
that.
didn't know is unbelievable. So there's just a couple points I want to go over that were mind blowing to me. Okay. So he claims, and he still to this day says that they're friendly. and they
Okay.
never harmed him.
Which is awesome.
And what happened was, you know, they the whole story where they drive the truck up, they see the light, they see the UFO sitting there. Well, there's this stuff called fulgurite. You know what this is?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not familiar.
Fulgurite is a crystal or a diamond that's created when lightning strikes.
Okay.
Could because of the velocity.
Basically it turns like the dirt and
Yeah,
stuff
it turns
because
like
the heat-
sand.
into
Yeah,
a
it turns
crystal.
like sand and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it's petrified basically.
And they've gone back and they've noticed that all these UFO spottings especially
Yep.
specifically in the
Yeah.
70s and
Yep.
in past history there was lightning strikes in those areas, in all of them.
Okay.
In like a super high percentage. It was like 98% of all the UFO sightings were where lightning has struck.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Okay.
So he believes, Travis Walton believes, that they're here and they're farming this fulgurite. They're for whatever reason, I don't know what kind of power they get out of it or what they do with it, but they're
So are they
harvesting this fulgurite.
are they following the lightning strikes, or are they creating the lightning strikes?
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
think anybody
It's just
knows yet.
speculation.
It's
Yeah.
speculation. So they thought it was, you know, kind of odd that
Yeah,
they
yeah.
always show up.
It's
where
definitely
lightning
coincidental
strikes.
for sure. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So that's just one thing. And then, you know, they keep going on. Well, the other thing is the trees. Okay. And what happened was he, you know, the story in the movie, he gets out of the car and he's standing under the thing and the beam comes down. Well, supposedly, according to Travis Walton, the beam was trying to harvest fulgurite where he was standing.
And he just got in the way.
Stuck
He
into
got in
it.
the way and it basically killed him.
Yeah.
Okay. And the aliens took him aboard to save his
To
life.
save him. Yep. I've heard that.
And he
somewhere.
goes in all this detail of like what happened on the ship, and it would take me forever to get into it. But you just got to check it out. But anyways, essentially they saved his life, and he keeps saying over and over throughout this whole episode, they're here to help us. They're here to save us. They are not harmful. He said if they were harmful, they would have killed us a long time ago because they had the technology.
Yeah,
they have the
obviously,
power.
yeah.
We would have been dead a long time ago.
So let me ask you a question then, and you listen to this, so I'm just
Yeah.
asking you, I guess from his standpoint, if he even touched on this. So the fulgurite, you call it, is
Yeah,
that
you can Google it. It's it'll
no,
come up,
no,
it'll show
yeah,
it.
no, yeah. I'm more so saying, what are the benefits of this for them?
They don't know.
Nobody
They
knows
don't know.
because it's
Okay.
so rare. It's such a rare
It
crystal.
doesn't happen every
Okay,
time that a lightning
from a
strikes,
scientific standpoint, from Earth or whatever, have we established whether or not there's any kind of benefits to that?
I don't think
yeah.
we.
Nothing that's been
Nothing that we use it
known or brought to our attention.
Okay.
Correct, yeah.
So, and then here's another weird thing. So they went back years later, okay, and they measured. They wanted to see how much radiation that whole thing caused. They took down all the trees in the area, okay, and they took them to what's the it's not a biologist who studies trees. I don't know what they
for.
call that.
Botanist.
It's
Kind of like a botanist, but it's
but they specify in trees. Anyways,
I know.
what they did
I
was-
can't think of the
A tree
fucking word for it.
scientist.
Okay,
Yeah, there
so
you go.
trees, 100-year-old trees, you cut them down, they have rings, right?
Okay.
Well, they were able to measure the rings, and they were all evenly spaced.
an arborist.
An arborist. that's what it was.
Arborist, there you
Okay.
go. I thought that was a bird doctor for some reason.
That's something totally different.
So they were able to take the trees from the site where this happened, and they can measure the rings, and the rings were all evenly spaced as they should be until that time in the 70s at that event. And then all of a sudden, the rings in the trees were larger and wavier and oblong.
Okay.
So there's proof that there's
There was
radiation.
some sort of event. Yes.
There's some
something
kind of
that interfered,
powerful
yeah.
radiation with all the trees in that circumference of where that happened.
Is that coming from the lightning?
They don't know if it's lightning or the beam or what the ship was emitting.
What
I
it
mean,
called? Yeah.
the lightning
they
would
don't,
make
they're not
sense
sure.
because the force emitted from that, we can replicate very close to that, but we have not been able to perfectly replicate an actual lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Right. So
The
is it
power that comes
possible
from
that
that. So, I mean, it could
the
disrupt
lightning
it.
itself is hitting the ground next to it and it's causing that?
Yeah.
And especially in like where the roots are and shit in a tree, I mean, if that's affecting
Yeah.
the tree itself and the root system,
Well, so there's that. And then
that's fulgurite.
okay, it looks like a weird, it looks like a marijuana gold hybrid. That's what it
it's-
looks like.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
look at it. It
Yeah.
looks like a fucking
Yeah.
great big gold bud.
Yeah.
It's like petrified dirt
Yeah.
sand. Yeah.
so there was the tree rings, and then the one guy.
That's awesome.
I don't
Yeah,
remember
it's
what his name was, but the one guy that was standing in the truck and they had the door open where Travis got out.
Okay.
He had his arm sitting there. Okay, the door was open. He got skin cancer and died from
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
On the side of
Yep.
his arm, skin cancer all over his arm, where his arm was hanging out of the truck closest to the ship. And this is like recently. He died from
Okay.
skin cancer on that side.
Okay.
So they were saying that there was so much radiation and radioactivity because of the tree rings and the guy dying with the skin cancer that Travis definitely died. Like, there's no way he could have survived that. So whatever technology they had, they literally brought him back to life.
Is it a possibility, and I'm just asking here, devil's advocate, because me being the skeptic that I am, is it a possibility that he actually got hit by a bolt of lightning and survived?
No, because all 7 of them say they saw they all the same
And
story.
he
the lie
disappeared.
detectors.
He was gone.
And even if he was struck by a bolt of lightning, you can look at every single survivor or deceased person from being struck by lightning.
Entry and exit wounds.
You can see the entry and exit wounds, and you can see how the lightning patterns on their body, kind of like that.
But didn't he also? But he said he had like.
No, he did an MRI like 4 or 5 times, and the only abrasions or anything he had one of his lobes was swollen in his brain. He had no scars, no protrusions, nothing.
No swelling of any sort.
And that's when he came back, when they found him. He just had some swelling in one section of his brain. That was it.
Well, at least listen. And again, I'm probably the biggest skeptic out in the world, but it's good to know that somebody. Yeah, you don't say. But in hearing somebody that supposedly says that they were actually, I hate to say the word abducted, considering that he says that they're nice, or that they're good or whatever. But for him to say, listen, they're not here to hurt us.
Yeah,
that's actually kind of. Comforting to hear.
I was going to say comforting in a way.
That's comforting.
Betty and Barney Hill say the same thing.
They said the same thing. Yeah,
they said they're not here to hurt us. They're here to evolve us.
We talked about them as well.
They're trying to help us. Yeah,
we've talked about them.
Too much more deeper into that subject. But if they were here to help us, why are they only selecting a few of us to be their disciples to distinguish that fact? Why wouldn't they just come in one big flock and be like, "Hey, yo, bros, we're just here to help y'all"?
We would kill each other.
We're not ready for it.
We would kill ourselves in war. Everybody would freak out. There'd be riots. We'd be killing each other.
Okay, so in saying that, though, are you saying that they're sitting back and they're kind of researching and they're like, listen, they're just not ready for this? Do you think that they're actually doing it?
They know we're not ready.
But even though they're still able to come to Earth, quote unquote, and harvest this and abduct people or whatever like that,
it goes back to the evolution theory where they're advancing us along at a faster pace than everything else.
Should be
and there's
yeah.
no actual scientific evidence as to how we've advanced so fucking fast. Like I was telling you guys a couple weeks ago about the whole monkeys thing. They're just now starting to use sticks and shit like that in their evolution process, and they've been around longer than we have technically.
They're basically. I was reading that they consider that the monkeys are now currently like getting into the Stone Age,
right?
Like where they're able to like make tools and use like consciously make tools and use tools and weapons.
And we were in that stage, what, 10,000, 15,000 years ago?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It was more than that, but
like discernible, like we were definitely in that stage.
Oh yeah. It's been a long fucking time.
Look at your own personal lifetime. Okay, think about when you were a little kid, the things that we had, the things that you could do
back in the 20s
to now, today. You know what I mean? But like, look at now today. Look at the things that we're doing.
Right.
We have a NASA-sized room computer in our pockets. All of us do, with the capability to connect across the world in a second.
And that took less than 30 years.
Right.
Less than 30 years to do that.
I mean, really think about it.
Yeah, but
we are evolving very quickly.
John, hold on. I know where John's going. John's going to well, I think people underestimate the power of human beings and what they can do.
Well,
and that's
100%. And that's 100%. I mean, listen, the human brain is consistently and constantly developing. That's why you have some people who are absolute geniuses.
But that's the point, though, that they're making is that
so you're saying they're affecting
faster than it should.
So you're saying that the aliens are affecting our brains,
genetics and things like that.
It's influence. So like if you can go into psychology, there's influences with environment and there's influences from people interacting with you in your daily
nature
basis.
versus nurture. Yeah,
correct.
And what do the people that are abducted, okay, and they go under hypnosis and they reveal like these equations and these formulas randomly that like, how the hell would that person ever think about that in a conscious mind?
But inside of that, though, how come you never hear about like a PhD physicist being abducted, or how come you never hear about?
Because who would believe him?
What do you mean? Who would believe him?
Think about it. If you were given knowledge, okay, from an alien, let's say you were abducted, you were given this special knowledge.
But if it happened to you and you were that devout,
would you go out and be like, "Hey guys, aliens abducted me, and I can do this now"? No, you would play it off that you discovered it.
You know what? There is hold up. There's something
I don't agree
out
with
there.
that. I don't agree with that, because if you're that devout with something and you want to come out and say this is,
they would lock you away.
This is what happened.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to do it.
So wait a minute. So then what you're saying is that we're supposed to take what the redneck down the street says is for fact.
Yeah, but no, that's a different.
Should they be locked away?
But they're saying stuff that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I'm
Gasoline
just
gives you
saying.
the same high as
I'm
alcohol.
just saying.
Like,
I'm just saying because if you ever notice, the majority
we're
of
talking
these
about people subconsciously under hypnosis revealing theories and formulas and stuff that none of us could imagine in a subcon. You know what I mean? None of us could come up with that.
okay,
coherently talk about
Correct.
yeah, but I mean, again, I think that
What's the best way to push a species along? Like, think about it. Like, if you were you're training monkeys or elephants or whatever, dogs, right? You feed them along slowly, right?
Language and mathematics. That's the fastest way. You teach them how to understand numbers and comprehend what a number is.
But so then in saying that, then you're saying that every genius person on this earth has been encountered by an alien?
I wouldn't say every, but I'm sure.
But they could have been influenced by
Some
someone
could.
who has.
Yeah.
But
I'm
how?
seeing it from both aspects of it. Like, you have to understand everyone's frame of mind. Like, even going back to like Aristotle and all those guys.
You could go really deep in this though too, because like
Yeah.
Einstein used to sleep, okay, and what he would do,
Really?
yeah,
No, you don't say.
but he would come up with his discoveries and his theories in his sleep. So what he would do is he would set an alarm by his chair, and he'd fall asleep, and he'd have a pen and paper right there. And the minute he woke up, he would start writing down exactly what he dreamt. So how do you know? I know this is going way far, but you know.
I love it, dude.
How do you know they're not going into an alternate dimension? Like we were talking about DMT and isolation tanks. How do you know they're not opening a channel of their brain that could be a pathway to communicate with something else that's feeding that information, or putting that information in front of them?
But how do you know they are?
Because the Matrix says otherwise.
See, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing, though. It's basically like a religion. You don't know. You're basing it on faith. Like, you're basing it on the fact that you either believe it or you don't believe it.
Right. So to me,
So,
though,
like, that's the thing. We're like, well, how can you say that they're not doing that? And your answer is, how can you say they are doing
but
that?
listen,
So-
you also know, like, I'm 100% science.
Yeah, I'm
like
science
when it
over
comes to religion, and I apologize to any of our religious listeners out there. And you guys, you do you. That's completely cool.
No,
In fact,
Now they're ragging on religion. I'm not listening anymore.
like I've said it over and over again that sometimes I'm envious of those people like that are super devout, like my grandmother, who like she embraced death because she, in her mind, she had a place to go.
She was going.
She knew where she was going.
Yeah.
That, and to me, that's huge.
Well, how do you explain the Joplin butterflies then? Which was a great episode, by the way. That interview was amazing.
Oh yeah, with our buddy.
That was awesome.
He did a great job. He actually,
awesome.
I've talked to him a couple
great,
times
dude.
since then
Yeah, he
too.
was
Yeah,
great.
But then how do you explain the whole butterfly angel thing?
mass hysteria?
But
From
why?
a traumatic experience.
Yeah.
Why would you immediately
Yeah.
go to the exact same thing that everybody else has seen that hasn't correlated that same incident with them? Like, why would you have somebody from across the town, the wholly different age group, see the exact same thing that don't even know each other? How would you classify that as mass hysteria?
It's still mass hysteria. I mean, mass hysteria just means, simply put, that like a group of people that don't even know each other, if one person has an inkling of an idea of what someone else said, then immediately they're going to start assuming that.
Like
There's
mathematics.
someone here right now that could actually probably talk to you about this better than I'm trying to convey it, and he's trying to convey it, and that's you, Moody.
Only me.
Oh my God! I thought someone was going to come out behind the curtain. I swear to God,
That dude from the fog.
I was like, "Who did you bring? And how did he get in here?"
You know what we're talking about and what we're getting at, right? I mean, you've gone down this rabbit hole, I'm sure.
I can do
This
that.
9 foot tall
I'm
radioactive
loving this
English rabbit
conversation
hole.
right now.
Moody, can I have another beer, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. Bro.
Thank you.
But do you? I mean, what do you think about it? Do you think that something is feeding us and moving us along, or do you think we're just?
I've always
geniuses and
been of the mind that our evolution has been influenced in some way by something else. What it is, who knows?
Yeah.
I believe that like you guys are saying that our jumps in technology and things like that are just it's too fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, agreed.
And like John, I get what you're saying, underestimating the power of of humans and their brains, and I get that. I totally understand that, and that's a great argument, and I'm not ragging on that at all, but I just don't think we're that smart on our own.
I mean, let's look at one.
You know what I mean?
Let me bring up one thing.
Okay.
And I was talking to somebody else about this.
Especially on the scale that it would have to be for all this to happen. Like,
Yeah,
if
but-
it was
but-
if it was a few people that are evolving fat, like you get that because you get animals that kind of evolve, like you get those offshoots of animals that evolve differently and quicker, and I could see that in humans too. But there is so fucking many.
But Moody,
and to put it on that plane, I think is
who created that scale?
What scale?
The scale you're talking about. You said on that scale. The scales you're talking about, everything that we're talking about here
It's
has
not,
been
not like a legitimate
no,
scale.
but I'm saying
like,
even like in metaphorically, like we created all of the scales and all of the science behind this stuff. So when people go and
Right,
say,
because
"Well,
we
there's
can
no
look-
way this can happen," we are the ones who have sat down and scientifically logged whether or not this happens with this and this
no, I
happens with
get
that.
it. But then if every other creature and whatever like genus on the fucking planet takes billions of years to evolve, yet somehow we evolved in like hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, because we're more advanced.
Why?
Why are we more advanced?
How
That's the
did we
point.
get more advanced than
How did
everything
we
else?
become
How
that
did we
phenomenon?
jump? How did we jump from shit throwing monkeys to fucking flying airplanes in like no time at all? Whereas
100 years.
monkeys have been around for how long, and they're just now making stone tools.
Look at dolphins. They say that dolphins are the smartest animal in the world, and their brain is this big.
Their brain is that big and has just a little bit more wrinkles than
I love how
ours.
you put that on the camera like that. There it is. There it is. It is big.
But you know what I'm saying? Like something had to have pushed us along, and people do come up with things.
Right. So-
People are creative. They have imaginations.
Sure.
They do come up
Absolutely.
with inventions. They do come up with things. But like I'm talking life-changing advancements.
I'm going to ask one question, and then we're going to move on because you have something that I want to talk about that you actually got us some pictures.
Yeah, we're at like 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
right now,
I mean,
if
this
not
is a
more.
long episode. But what's the difference then between saying God did that and aliens did that?
Because one,
There is no difference. It depends on what you believe.
it depends on who you're talking to.
Correct.
Okay, so that's
They could
literally
be-
what it comes
they-
down to.
They could literally be the same thing.
Well, looking at great leaders in our time, like our time, prior times, it took one person to convince millions of people to do one thing. Look at wars. Look at all this shit. It took one fucking person to convince a massive amount of people
Yeah.
to say, "Hey, I'm going to follow that guy." I mean, it's in our Bible. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
but that's
one
not saying one person is not advancing the human race.
But what if that one person
can
was
start it,
influenced by something
And they
else?
can influence the change.
Yeah, but I can go back into the history books again that man created and tell you about Hitler, who I believe you're talking about, Stalin.
I was more talking about Jesus Christ, but
Okay, or
I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
He's just kidding. He's just kidding.
I'm
He's just
not
kidding.
comparing Jesus and Hitler. I apologize.
what I'm saying is that there is actual evidence here. There's evidence of that versus the other.
right.
You know what I mean? So to me, when I
There's
look at
evidence
things,
of what versus the other?
like say he was talking about one person, you know,
Convincing
an
millions.
Yeah.
entire whatever to do whatever, advancing a human race. There's nothing there proving that it's happening or
two.
not happening. No, I will say that too. I will say that there's also no evidence that it's not happening that way.
There's two major factors in this whole conversation that could go forever and every which way.
Yeah.
It's like religion, politics, right? The two main factors are it's ignorant to believe that we're the only things in this universe,
100%.
galaxy. Okay.
Right.
100%.
Absolutely.
And two,
Love that saying.
we know for a fact, based through history, that we are further advanced than anything else on this planet at an exponential rate compared to everything else.
Okay.
Documented.
And there's a reason why, we don't know what, but there's a reason why.
Okay, and again, and God, I keep you motherfucker. So we did the WOW signal, and we talked about how
I listened to it.
that it reached all the way out
Fucking right, you listen.
to
I listened to
another
all of them.
another fucking galaxy
Yeah.
that has another sun just like ours, meaning that there's another fucking Earth just like ours, potentially.
Right.
Potentially. Yeah.
So many fucking light years away that I literally asked, okay, and we got into that whole like, how far is it? You know, yada yada.
It would take us
And you
however many years. Yeah.
You gave us.
Yeah.
like 35,000 years to get there. Or something
I will
like that.
never, ever, ever I will never sit down and say that there is no way that there's not some other form of beings in another whatever, but I do not believe, and you cannot prove it unless you can prove it to me. You cannot change my mind that they've ever been here.
David Blaine.
All right, moving on. That's amazing. So, listen, you sent us some pictures, and Logan, can you pull the pictures up that he actually sent us? So, you said, Jeff, that you found, or somebody sent you these,
So
right?
a guy that works for me,
Okay.
his wife works at Giant Eagle in Brook Park. And if you're
Okay.
from the Northeast
Grocery
Ohio,
store. Yeah.
Giant Eagles right here.
Yep.
Grocery store.
And she's been working there for 17 years. And this guy in particular is not like a conspiracy guy. Like, I don't even think he believes in Bigfoot or none of that stuff. So,
What a
anyways,
dick.
he tells me, he's like, hey,
Askwatch.
He's like, my wife
Sasquatch.
My wife was freaking out over the weekend. I was like, why is that? He's like, she swears to God, she saw 3 UFOs.
Hold on, pause. Did you get married yet?
No, not till July 4th.
Okay.
4th of July, dude. Remember?
I was about to say, you
Free
said
fireworks.
you were saying his wife.
His wife. Yeah.
You said my wife, and I was like, wait a minute, did I miss something? Okay, I'm sorry.
Can we just circle back to the fact that you are a smart ass fucking man?
What's that?
Getting married on July 4th. How hard is it to forget your fucking anniversary?
Yeah, and he said free fireworks.
Free fireworks for life.
Like,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
It's not the forgetting thing for me. I can
the free
remember
fireworks.
it. It's the fireworks every year. I could be like, look, babe, fireworks are up.
I did this
I
for
did
you.
that for you.
That's for you. I went back 200
Okay.
years.
Sorry. So he says,
Okay, so he says, she came home, she was all shook up and everything, and he's like, what's going on? And she's like, well, we all ran outside. I guess one of the workers saw it, and this is like multiple people there. They ran out and they saw these 3 UFOs in the sky, and she said they were like just stationary for a second, and then they would like dart. I'm talking like just dart. They did video, and I can't get the video from her because she's older and she doesn't know how to do it. So I'm like, can you get her phone and bring it in? Because I want the video so bad just to show everybody. He's like, oh, I don't know. I'll see. He's an older guy too. So, anyways, I'm gonna try and get the video. But I got pictures from him.
yeah. And
I had to
Logan, you
do
got
it.
those posted up?
I do. Oh,
He's
I
like,
have
here's
them
my
right
phone. Send the pictures. I'm like, oh my god.
All right. So in the picture right now, you can see 3 distinct lights in the sky.
Yes, you can.
Because I've seen this picture.
Yes, you can.
So
Did you zoom in on him, by the way?
We did a little bit,
kind
but
of
it was
can.
weird because you couldn't move the picture over.
Yeah.
So the one, that one.
Yeah.
If you zoom into it, like it's on my phone, and you can like really see some weird shape.
So what do they believe it was? A UFO?
They think it was because the way it was moving. And so I wish I had the video, but she said like it would be like at one side of the sky at 1 second, and all 3 of them, and they would move in formation. Then they go up, and then left, and then down, and then they sit there for a
All
minute.
right,
then
so-
then they go up, and then right again.
Okay.
Like,
I
that's
had
quick.
I believe that at some point I saw one as well when I was younger.
Okay.
I was driving and it was the same shit. It was just one. It wasn't 3. But it was one of those things like I was driving and it was like literally right in front of me, and I kind of like it was one of those things that like caught my eye. I was like, "Fuck is that?"
So if I zoom
So I'm
into
like-
this, look at the tails on this thing. It's almost got like
you
little
can,
wings.
You can see like the wings. It's on 2 of them. On the outer edges, they almost have like this comet. They have this comet shaped entrail on it.
And it's the same on all of them, which is weird too.
Yeah, they're identical.
Like if it was a light anomaly, like they'd be different or whatever. But like I was saying, like I saw something that caught my eye and I was like watching. I'm like, that's fucking weird. I don't know what that
Brook
is.
Park is like what? That's close
And
to
I
Parma?
saw it,
Yeah,
well,
it's
and
like
that's the
Parma
thing.
and
I
shit.
saw this. I didn't think much of it at first because I was driving. I had just passed the airport. I'm like, oh, it's probably
And
just
then
a
that's
plane.
the other one zoomed in.
I'm like, it's probably just a plane, so I
Look
didn't
like
think
orbs.
much of
Yeah.
it.
Throw it in your.
But I was watching this
Yeah.
thing, and it was like a reddish. It was like a reddish color, and I'm like, that's probably just like lights from a plane. It's probably just a plane because I just passed the airport. And I'm like watching this thing. It's directly in front of me, and then like all of a sudden it did the same thing. It was just like, it was over there. I'm like, what the fuck? So I started watching it. It was doing that same shit. It was like me, and then it was like up and then down, and like it was doing the same kind of shit. And then like all of a sudden, like I'm following this thing, probably not a smart idea while I was driving.
Right.
But I'm like watching this thing, like what the fuck? And then like all of a sudden, they're like, like I saw like go over, I saw it, and then it was just fucking gone.
Yeah.
Like it was gone. I was like,
So
what?
I
the
talked
fuck
about
was
this
that,
before
dude?
on the show. When I was a kid, I was with my mom and we were driving down 58 in south of
Is that Oberlin?
no, it was Wellington.
Wellington. Gotcha.
Going south, and I saw pretty much the exact same thing. 3 triangles in the sky like that going like right next to us. And I was looking out and I'm like, I even asked my mom, I was like, what is that? And she
About-
looked and she couldn't see it.
About what year was this?
Oh,
42?
No.
Yeah, say
Probably
Alien, see? Yeah.
Like late 80s?
Hey, sta cá, say.
I'd say late 80s,
Okay.
early 90s.
So right around the time the B-2 bomber was released.
Oh, shut up.
So that's pretty cool though, man. Like
Yeah, that's awesome,
It's
man.
awesome.
Yeah, and like I said, they're not like
So a bunch of people
believers.
saw it. It wasn't
Yeah,
just.
and the event went on for, from what I understand, what he told me was like 8 minutes
I
long.
wonder if there's any reports. When was this?
3 weeks ago.
I wonder if there's like. I'm gonna look it up and see if anyone else like reported this.
I
Like,
was
if
going to say,
there's-
is that what Baker saw? But he was out in.
he was out,
Yeah.
Texas or whatever.
By the way, if anyone knows Baker Mayfield, I want him on
We
the
want to
fucking
talk to
show.
him. He believes in fucking Sasquatch and UFOs.
Yes, I want
He's
to
our
talk to
man.
him.
Squitch.
I want to talk to
See
him.
him squinch.
Not only that, but go Browns. Anyway,
See him squinch.
so listen, Passengers, this has been a long ass episode.
3 hours
Yeah.
later,
We really hope you enjoyed your ride with
if
us.
you're still with us.
On the Rendlesham Forest event.
Yeah, incident.
Yeah, that's what I said. And
I know. I'm just saying. I was reiterating.
so listen, join us here next week where we'll be talking about
John
Whatever.
Stamos.
Yeah. The Union Screaming House
Yeah, buddy.
of
Union,
Missouri. I want to get haunted. I want to get spooky. I want to get creepy.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? We've been
Yeah,
doing a
man.
lot of true crime. We've been doing a lot of science stuff. We've been doing all this stuff. I want to get back on this train and I want to take it to a fucking haunted house. And this is a haunted house story with demons and so much more.
Yeah, it's a good one, man.
So we're going to get real creepy on that one. So make sure you guys are here for that. And make sure you stop over to our official website, themidnighttrainpodcast.com. At our website, you can buy some super sweet merchandise.
Super sweet.
And, of course, you can get our Fecal Fighters shit-eating robot t-shirt.
Yeah, buddy.
The super popular Don't Be a DeSalvo shirt.
I got one of those coming. I ordered one.
The switchblade-wielding
On its way.
Jersey raccoon t-shirt.
Speaking of which,
you need the
happy birthday.
Happy birthday
Jesse.
to Jesse from the Sisters Skeleton.
The sisters
Skeleton.
Skeleton.
No. It's the Sister Skeleton.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's right.
it's her birthday, yeah. Perhaps she needs a lunchbox.
Oh, the raccoon is back.
Back. It's been a while.
Oh,
We haven't heard from the
You
raccoon.
guys want
in a
some Quaaludes? Yeah, $5 a bag.
while. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you got. What do you?
Yeah.
We should talk.
What's in the lunchbox?
I got. Don't worry about it. I got. Do you like lunch meat? Hey. Do you like lunch meat?
Yeah, what you got?
I have some bologna. Want bologna?
Oh,
no. And also, you can pick up your amazing, freaking, just ridiculous Ed Vane t-shirt, which is just
So good.
so
dude.
dumb. And listeners keep asking how they can keep the steam in our engines. Well, if you like what you hear from us, and listen, this is a long one, we get it. Consider being a producer of the show by heading over to the midnighttrainpodcast.com and clicking on the Patreon button, or just simply go to patreon.com/the Midnight Train Podcast. For as little as $5 a month, you can get all kinds of awesome stuff like a custom shirt, custom poster, custom stickers, bonus episodes like, we're coming up here with the Devil's Bible.
Devil's Bibbly.
We're going to get
When
And
you
I
guys,
have-
when you guys gonna get condoms with
I
the
have
logos on it?
such a,
soon.
I have such
Soon.
a treat.
But each one's going to have a hole in it.
They're invisible. They're invisible. Fuck.
I have a special treat
So they don't really work. You know what I mean?
for all you Patreon people. I don't know how long it's going to take,
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
but it's going to be fucking
Yeah.
amazing, and I'm super excited about
And
it.
I'm also excited that we're going to be going on our first official ghost hunt.
Ooh, yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Now keep in mind that is the podcast first official ghost hunt.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Logan and I are actually going on a ghost hunt this Sunday.
Logan and I are going on a ghost hunt on Sunday.
Little father-son time in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, it's not.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Whoa.
It's actually we're going to a brewery. And for the life of me, I can't remember what the brewery it is right
I
now.
don't remember either.
And Bill would probably know because Bill Birch, our buddy, he got it set up.
Was this wasn't in our haunted brewery episode?
No,
I didn't know about
no.
this.
So this one we're going down this Sunday. So actually, when
Would
this
be?
by the time you guys hear this, I'm either dead,
Yeah.
believe in ghosts,
Or shitting
Okay.
his pants.
or I'm just the same John.
Or abducted by an alien, and you have a
Yes,
sweet idea
right.
when you come back, a new invention.
Or D, all of the above.
Right. So if you're a diehard Midnight Train fan and you want to help produce this motherfucker, you want the bonuses, you want all this cool shit that we're going to be doing, including this shit that Moody has in his
Oh,
head,
God, it's worth it.
the ghost tours and stuff, just sign up. It's $5 a month. It's like less than a cup of a coffee if you go to an expensive place. You know what I mean? For those of you that, would rather just leave a one-time donation, head over to PayPal and use the email address, the Midnight Train Podcast. The
Midnight Train.
The Midnight Train. The Midnight Train Podcast at gmail.com. Also,
Let me get my Allen wrench. you ever heard somebody do that?
Yeah.
They like
Allen?
turn the A's to the O.
yeah, that's not
One
right.
guy did that today. He's
Yeah.
like, you got an Allen wrench? I'm like, what?
No.
What is an Allen wrench?
Does he drink milk?
On his pillow?
Pello?
Yeah, you don't hear it go, Alan. No, it's Alan, Steve. So you can easily like, subscribe, and rate us on your favorite podcast platform. And most importantly, please share the Midnight Train to everyone. We know we're not for everyone. We know we are not your grandma's podcast.
You got
At
that
least
right.
We're,
Right. Yeah. Click,
we're,
click,
at
click.
least, we're at least not for those two assholes.
Right. But it takes only a couple of minutes of word of mouth. Is how we're going to keep getting more passengers on this train and to continue bringing you weekly episodes and bonus episodes. We cannot thank you guys all so much for all the love and support we have received from all of everybody. Sweden to
great,
freaking
dude.
Portland to
I've been
England to
watching-
New England, like everywhere.
I've been watching the charts, man, and we're still going strong in like Sweden and Austria and South Korea,
Nice.
and it's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
man.
it's pretty awesome.
South Korea. Aw.
So thank you all so much for
buddy.
listening. Now listen.
Taiwan, we're still up there.
Oh yeah, Taiwan likes us.
Yeah.
But then again, their charts, there's probably like 3 podcasts. No, I'm just kidding.
No, there was. I actually looked at their
There's
charts
a lot.
when we were number one. Like there was a fuckload of podcasts.
Really? And we
Yeah.
made number 1 through all that?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Taiwan,
shit.
we love you so much.
We were number 1 in Hong Kong.
Thank
for a
you.
minute,
Or
too.
Hong Kong. That's what it was.
Hong Kong. Yeah, Hong Kong.
We were number
pretty
one
good.
in Taiwan for
We
a
were
minute.
number 1 in Taiwan. Yeah,
Like we, yeah.
Wonder
That
how
was a
our
while
rankings
ago.
are in New Zealand.
We're good in New Zealand. We're actually doing well in New Zealand. Yeah.
Seriously?
And Australia. Yeah.
We're back.
Hey,
Yeah,
all I
we're
gotta
back.
say is fucking Aussies for life, mates.
The
Oh, look at
dingo
that.
ate you, baby.
Hey,
Jesus.
that's a very sensitive subject. Back your pump the brakes, buddy. Pump the brakes. Name that movie.
So, oh wait, what is it? I know that movie.
Come on.
What
The
movie? What do you
dingo.
It's fucking Tropic Thunder.
Oh,
Pump the brakes, buddy.
Yeah.
Dingo ate you. Hop along, Kangaroo Jack.
Yeah.
That's right.
Nice. That's good. Drink
Hey,
up, by the way.
motherfuckers.
So thank you guys so much for listening. Moody, can I please, first and foremost, thank you, Jeff, for being here.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me. That
Thanks for
was fun.
coming back, man. Thanks for
Love you.
being a part of this. And this is definitely
Miss
not
you.
going to be the last time. We definitely want to
Yeah,
have you back out
anytime,
again.
man.
Next time we'll make
We'll
sure
at least
that
have you back one more time.
At least.
We got.
we just got to make sure that one of us has the.
Yeah, we have to get that done.
yeah.
No, we'll
stuff?
do it. We'll do it.
Some stuff.
Yeah.
Remind me next time that when we're doing it, like the day of, and I'll take
Just
care
let
of
me know because either one of us. Just let us know. We'll
So
take care of it.
Communication is
it.
key.
You just gotta
here.
remind me.
Yeah. Anyway, it was fun regardless.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I don't really think we needed it. Today.
I don't really think we needed
Can you imagine? No, the only thing that
It'd
would
be like
change.
6 hours instead of 3.
The only thing that would change is that instead of being like, dude, no, what I'm saying is this, it'd be like,
Bruh,
do you
bruh,
know what I'm saying? It,
We'd sound
Wait.
weird.
Wait. You guys,
Weird.
did you not just hear what I said?
wait,
Like,
no, dude.
Yes.
All right, so Moody, give me my kazoo, man. I want to thank these beautiful people. Thank you all so much. Our beautiful, beautiful Patreon producers, Colleen Cox, Shannon Valiando, Mac Doherty, Gina Madison, Janet Sherrill, Heather Gilmore, Laura Randall, Chad Flint, Cheryl Pierce, Chris McLeod, Justin Kowalczyk, Rob Webb from the Fun Box Podcast. Be careful if you party with that motherfucker. And please check out the Fun Box Podcast. Christina Skelton and Jessica Bartolome. Hey,
Happy birthday.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
And they are
happy
from the
birthday.
Sister Skeleton Podcast.
What day is her birthday, Jeff?
Today? Today. I was like, wait, I don't know. Is it?
Hey,
Cut him.
happy birthday, Jesse. Here's a lunchbox for you.
There you go. To Maria Gibbs, Chainsaw,
What the fuck?
Jigsaw, Craig Spurlock, Rick Resler, Courtney Batchelor, Katie Brabenik, and our boy Bill Birch.
Oh, good for you.
If you want your name to be mentioned on the show, become a Patreon producer. All right, tell your friends about it. This is what we do. It's fun. And it was a great time hanging out with you guys today.
Yeah.
It's cool
It was
talking about some
amazing.
UFO nutty stuff. And Jeff,
One
again,
of these days,
thank you
John is
so
going
much.
to be a believer.
Yeah, do we open your mind at all?
No.
No, but you didn't close my mind.
Oh, come on.
No, but you didn't close my mind any further.
So
Like,
we've done nothing to influence or not influence him. Good to
yeah.
know.
No. I mean, listen, the whole, and I will say, final notes here or whatever, the whole, the advancements of humans, and it has been extraordinarily fast considering everything else in the, gamut of beings on this planet. You know what I mean? Like it's been, we have.
It's a very big rabbit hole to fall down. Trust me.
It's exponentially faster. And do I believe that aliens are involved in it? I don't know. I really don't. And I'm not going to say I don't know for a fact because
It's definitely not our school systems.
He's got a point.
I guess that is true.
That was perfect.
We learned it.
So listen, stay safe out there, passengers. And Jeff, do me a favor.
Yes, sir.
I don't think you've ever done it. As always,
Motherfucker.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
The ones that crawl out are fat and stout. Your eyes fall in and your hair falls out. Your brain turns turns into maggot pie. Your liver starts to liquefy, and for the living all is well as you sink further into hell, and the flames rise up to drag you down into the fire where you will drown. Your skin melts off as you descend, and Satan tears you limb from limb. Your suffering will never end, and the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out. They'll eat your guts and then shit them out, and when your bones begin to rot, the worms remain, but you do not. So don't ever laugh as a hearse goes by, for someday you'll be the one to die. And when death brings his cold despair, ask yourself, will anyone care?